Good evening and welcome to Fantastic Dimensions. Tonight we are playing Lamentations of the Flame Princess, and we are playtesting a little bit of Marquise Hardis's new setting that he's been releasing bit by bit called the Lands Blessed and Burned. So this game is called Steel Dragon, and it's going to involve a couple of dragon wives and one of their companions on a dragon hunt. Now I'll give you some background information before we get to character introductions. I'm reading these directly from Marquise's blog called Marquise. Once the world had one moon, and then there were two. The second moon was the color of blood fire, and when it was full, insanity gripped the minds of men and beast alike. And then the moon hatched. This event was doomsday. This event was what brought dragons to the world. They came crashing into the planet alongside the burning shards of egg moon that they had hatched from. Entire cities crumbled as massive rocks obliterated them and everything around them for dozens of miles. Tsunamis rose up and washed away the coasts, and then drained away, never to return. Ash filled the skies, and crumbled mountaintops littered the fields like broken pieces of glass from a brick-shattered window. Then the dragons took flight, and the hunt began. At first, they were intelligent. They spoke their reasons for claiming our world. They studied our tactics from above and then raised them in dragon breath. But they were not of this world. Like poison to a well, their minds became tainted. First, memory fell away, then logic, and finally speech. Driven mad by terrestrial influence, these worms became little more than instinctual apex predators. But apex predators they still were. One could argue that they were more dangerous when the insanity claimed them. No longer would they spare children for slaves, or flee when their wounds were too grievous. Now they fought to the death like maddened berserkers, and their rage laid waste to city after city and realm after realm. The old opal kings of yesterday asked the gods for help, and help they offered, but even they could not save the world, for the world had become prey, and sinned itself into damnation. Over time, the dragons began to change the world through more than just ash and fire. Their breath was something strange. It poisoned the world just as the world had poisoned them. A fell pollution overtook the land. Life, as it once was, had collapsed. The last native tree died 100 years ago, and only the gods remember what a green world looked like. Still, the poison seeps into the land. Wolves have grown giant and dire. Hyenas have stolen the intelligence of man, and those who travel the blessed lands feel its effect, turning their flesh into souls, or the flesh and souls into fire. And what of the dragons themselves? No longer do they hold the shapes of just serpents. Their weird souls have only grown weirder as they are burned away. Kobolds dig their way out of their corpse flesh, and 1,000 types of drakes crawl from their mouths when the blood-fire moon should have been full again, and their flesh form take on dreamlike, uncanny shapes. Never did dragons obey the logic of man, but now they obey no logic at all. Enter the dragon wife. The metal dragon of dreams and nightmares hurls lightning at her. Her cloak burns away, revealing her naked flesh below, neither blackened nor ruined by the breath of her husband. She leaps through the air, ground cracking under her feet, a spear too long or a sword too thick in her hands. She strikes at her husband, and he strikes at her. They dance as they fall to the ashen earth below. In a plume of blood and soot they struggle, and singing a spell of dragon slaying, she cripples her husband's wings and his throat. She then spears his jaw into the dirt and hacks at his neck like a logger at a tree. Blood spews out from it and spawns kobolds. She fells them too before returning to her task. In a rage of crazed lust and holy anger, she severs this head and bathes in its blood and is renewed in every way. This is the way of the dragon wife. Until they are old and turn to mush or dust, they will slaughter their husbands. And when there is but one left to slaughter, they will call forth a new alien moon and hatch it again and continue their endless, religious, glorious hunt. So, as I said, I have 3 players here, 2 of which will be playing Dragon Wives and 1 who will not. I will start with the Dragon Wives first, and I'm going to simply go from left to right across the screen. So, Will, if you would like to tell us who you're playing today.
I am playing Ula, the Dragon Wife. She is a level 4, quite tall for a woman, with dark hair. She currently has no AC, but we will tackle that soon.
That's a very good point. Yes, we do need to tackle a few things. I'll let the others introduce their characters, and then we'll finish off your character, which I forgot to do before I sent it to you. So, Katie, go ahead and tell us who you're playing.
I am playing Sadir. She is a little on the shorter end of the spectrum, but thick, well constituted. She carries a long spear and is known for her particularly wild, leaping antics when she is raging into battle against her husbands.
Excellent. And Jeff, why don't you tell us who you're playing today?
Today I'm playing Cody, a wanderer, survivalist who's been running around the wasteland forever. He's pretty tall male, pretty nondescript, dark clothing. Can't really see his hair. It's all covered up by helmets and stuff. So he's a pretty quiet guy.
Excellent. He wears leather armor, if I recall, yeah?
Yes, leather.
Cool. So then that brings us to finishing off your Dragon Wife character, Will, which I kind of wanted to do this on camera for everyone to see a little bit of the flavor anyway. We need to look at, you get, every time a Dragon Wife levels up, there's this cool chart on the blog here that we get to roll on. So if you have some percentile dice, you are a level 4 Dragon Wife, so you're going to get to make 3 rolls. We'll do them one at a time, though. So go ahead and roll 1.
Okay, first roll. Sorry, I did that wrong. I'm using the digital one. Let me just change that. First roll is 99.
99, okay. If you roll a crit 20 against a dragon, you kill it, no matter how many hit points it has left. That was a good one, man.
Yeah.
So mark that down.
Yeah. Okay, second roll then?
Yep.
10.
A 10, you gain a +1 to your attack bonus. So we'll keep that in mind because we're going to work out your total attack modifiers here in a minute.
Okay.
And you get one more.
One more is 8.
8. That's another attack, +1 to attack bonus. So you get a total of +2 to your attacks.
Okay.
Now you are a 4th level Dragon Wife, which attacks as a fighter. So that gives you a base of +5. Your strength modifier, I think, is +2. Is that correct?
Yep.
And you have +2 for your 2 Dragon Wife abilities. So you have a total of +9 for melee attacks.
That sounds quite good.
And for missile attacks, you have a +1 dexterity modifier, I think, right?
Yep.
So that would make it a +8 total. Just 1 less than your melee attack.
Right.
And then your armor class. So your armor class is a base of 12. No, I'm sorry, actually, this is Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Katie, increase your armor class by 2. I forgot that unarmored is a base of 12 in Lamentations. So you actually have an armor class of 14, Will?
Right.
Unarmored. Since the Dragon Wives never wear armor, they only wear those black veils, and except for when they fight against the dragons.
So that's a base of 14, and then when I'm fighting a dragon, it's additional because of what I rolled earlier. Okay.
Because you are Dragon Wives, you have the other Dragon Wife bonuses that all Dragon Wives get, which when you're fighting a dragon by itself, or multiple dragons, as long as there's no enemies except for dragons themselves, you get a +5 to your strength, dexterity, and constitution modifiers. So that would affect your armor class when you're fighting against nothing but a dragon or dragons. So that would mean if there is only dragons around, you have a 19 armor class. Well, if, however, there are, hang on a second. If by chance there are other creatures around, whether they be dragon kin like kobolds and wyverns and things of that sort, or wolves, etc., anything else, you don't get that +5 modifier to your strength, dex, and constitution, just because that's something special you get when your focus is completely on one or more dragons. Does that make sense?
When I rolled earlier on my table, I got a shield bonus when I'm versus dragons. Mm-hmm. So then that makes my AC when dragons are around 15 + 5, so 20. 20?
Yeah, it should just be 2 higher than whatever we figured out earlier, because I was forgetting about the base of 12 instead of 10. So what's your dexterity modifier, Katie?
2.
2. So that brings you up to 14.
Mhm.
And then you get a shield modifier for having leveled up. That was when you're fighting any dragon or dragonkin, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that would give you a 15 base or 16 versus missile.
Okay. And then if there's only dragons around, so then it's a
And if there's
20.
only dragons around, you get another +5 on top of those, so 20 and 21.
Okay, perfect.
So keep that in mind. If you are fighting a dragon and other monsters appear, you want to take out the other monsters as quickly as possible so you can get your dragon-only modifiers.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
So each point of dex mod gives 1 AC as well. Is that right?
Each point of your dexterity modifier affects as well. You have a +2 dexterity modifier. So, or +1, sorry, +1. So you're actually at a 13 base, right?
Okay.
And then if you're against dragons only, you're at 18. Cool. Yep. All right, good stuff. So we're going to start kind of in media res here. You've already left the city of the Dragon Wives to go and hunt this great dragon, which has a name, which I will tell you in just a moment here. His name is Vith Marfetulum. You're hunting Vith Marfetulum because he has made prey of legionary forces from the dragon city itself, causing him to become a threat to your city. Little is known about this dragon. One survivor from a platoon of soldiers returned to the city naked. He had had to strip off all of his armor and weapons and left them behind before the dragon would stop pursuing him. So it is presumed that this dragon has an interest in collecting armor and weapons. Only thing he could tell you about the dragon was that it was monstrously huge, hideous, and that when it roared, it was like the cries and screams of men. He didn't get much of a look at it for any detail beyond that because he spent the rest of his time running for his life and stripping off what armor and armaments he had. So now you're making your way across the ashen wasteland of the Blessed Lands. Everything is covered in soot and dirt and ash. Even the sky is distorted from the multitude, the massive amounts of ash that have collected in the sky for many, many years now since the dragons came. It is quite warm and uncomfortable. So fortunate for the Dragon Wives, you're not wearing any armor. It makes it a little bit less uncomfortable for you. However, for Cody, in your leather armor, you're definitely sweating a lot. You'd be used to this because this is your livelihood, but yeah, it's sticky, and beyond the smell of the soot and ash itself, you also get a distinct scent of Cody in the air as well. It is believed that it will take you about 3 days to reach the location where you suspect Vith Marfetulum is making his lair. The way you identify this is that there have been reports of a bog rising in this particular area where you're heading to. Now, as we said, the last native tree on the planet died 100 years ago. However, they do grow trees in the cities. They do grow plants in the cities. And also in the wilds, wherever the dragons make their homes and sometimes where they make their graves, the natural radiation from them will oftentimes cause life to sprout up again. So where there is a bog in the wild, there is a dragon, either dead or living usually. So that's where you're making your course for. And it will take you about 2 days to reach there. Once there, you hope to be able to find the dragon within a day. Now, would you quickly, I'll go again one by one, and just describe what your character looks like, what they're wearing, what they're carrying, just so we can get a visual idea of this trio of travelers making their way across the ash. So if you want to tell us what Ula looks like as she's walking across this wasteland.
Yeah, so Ula, she has a large greatsword just strapped to her back. She also has kind of a backpack. She has some rations, some water. She has an arrow, a bow and arrow. I mean, also strapped to her pack. She has some torches, tinderbox, and some rope. I guess her veil is probably stuffed into her backpack as well. She's kind of braided plaits in her hair, and that is about all she has.
So did you, sorry if I missed this, did you describe the veil as being separate from the robe itself, or did you take the whole thing off? Are you walking in the buff?
Well, she's walking in the buff, I suppose,
Yeah,
unless she has her own little outfit.
No, that's entirely acceptable for a dragon wife. The dragon wives are revered by the people of the Blessed Lands because they do keep the dragons in check, essentially. And no one looks at a dragon wife with lust or desire in their heart, except but for reverence and respect. So it's not uncommon. Although in the cities, oftentimes you will wear the veil, the full body veil. But no, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And Sadir, what do you carry and how are you traveling?
Sadir, being shorter and sort of well-muscled and sinewy, is sat atop the back of a black horse. She carries a lance, a great lance, under one arm. Her long, not long, terribly long, but fairly long hair is kind of just pulled back in an unceremonious knot behind her. There is a backpack on her back and a single saddlebag on the side of her horse. All you can see at a glance really is the backpack and the rope and her weapons. She also has a short bow and a quiver lashed to her back. And she has the veil sort of tied into the saddlebag currently. It's hot and bothersome out here, and she needs her eyes keen about her. That's how she's traveling.
Excellent. Okay. And Cody, go ahead and give us a visual description, what we see as Cody makes his way with these two dragon wives across the wastes.
God damn it, Cody's hot. Cody's damn hot. Cody's getting rid of all of his clothes. Shit. Cody is wearing dark clothes, of which he's wearing less of right now. He's got a big old backpack on. Has a big longbow on his back with like 3 quivers. You can kind of hear pots clinking around inside his backpack. And he's just trying to get cool.
Okay, so did you take off your leather armor for now, or are you wearing the leather armor and just less of the underclothing and whatever with it?
Nah, he took off the leather armor for now.
Okay, very good. Very good. So as you're making your first day's journey across the wastes, you would have set out from the Dragon City relatively early in the morning, shortly after first light. The sky looks very much like the sky in the image I'm presenting right now, if you want to look at it there. And this is considered a good clear day here in the Blessed Lands. Not too many clouds in the sky, just collections of ash. And of course, everything is distorted, that kind of sickly amber orange, or I don't know, I'm colorblind. It looks to me like kind of like an amber, brownish, yellow kind of color anyway. Thanks, Katie's giving me a thumbs up, so I think I got it right. And but yeah, there is no sign of any ash storms, which is a good thing, because when the ash storms come, they can be extremely deadly, and usually you have to bury yourself underground to survive an ash storm. But there's no sign of any ash storms on this day, and all seems quite peaceful as you journey along until nightfall. As it begins to get dark, the sky darkens the single moon rising and giving more of a dark golden hue, more like, I guess, a bronze hue to the sky at nightfall. And visibility, of course, becomes much more difficult. And you've been traveling since early in the morning, so you would probably want to try to set up some kind of a camp. The terrain, again, looks very much also like the image. It's rocky and just wasted. It's called the wasteland for a reason. This close to the city of the Dragonwives, this used to be, in the times of legend, great farmlands, and there would have been villages and rivers and things that had flown through here. Now it's just rocks and chasms where the rivers maybe used to be, or ravines. And yeah, there's, like I said, the winds aren't too strong. There's no signs of any ash storm. What would you like to do for shelter purposes? Probably want to refer to Cody, since he is the survivalist expert. How would you like to try to set up a camp for this night?
We got no trees. We got no caves. No nothing, right?
Would you like to try to look for a cave? You can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a bushcraft roll. So to make a skill check in this system, Jeff, you're going to need to roll a d6, and you want to roll equal to or lower than whatever your score is in bushcraft.
Okay, got a 2. Bushcraft is a 3.
Then, yep, you're able to find a nice little cave. It's not too deep, but it's a good maybe 15, 20 feet. It's well enough to cover the three of you. It does get quite a bit cooler at night as well, so you could make a small fire in there, I'm sure. And with that kind of a bushcraft roll, I'll just say you're able to scrounge up enough kind of wasted, old, like almost petrified wood along the way to build this fire and to keep you warm at night.
All right, come on over here. I found us a cave. We can spend the night here.
Thank you, Cody. Good work.
It is good to have you with us.
So once you get your fire going, and it's gone pretty much, the sun is completely set outside. It's just the moonlight. The sky is quite dark now, especially with the ash. Just hints of almost like an aurora of that bronze and light reflecting off the moon through the ashen clouds. And I imagine, Cody, you will pull out those pots and pans of yours to fix up some dinner with the rations you have, or are they just for announcing your presence to any enemies within earshot?
No, they're for eating. So, yes, let's cook up some food. Let's cook us some victuals.
Please take some of my rations.
And mine as well.
Yeah, you can all kind of share what rations you have. You want to be careful, of course, with your water so that you don't run too low, but you all have your own water supplies, so you're able to make a nice meager meal and eat comfortably and drink some water as you prepare to sleep for the night. Do you want to set any watches, or do you feel relatively safe in this cave? Do you just all want to sleep through the night? You will have about, I would say, 8 hours before the sun begins to rise.
Cody's going to take first watch, actually, just automatically.
I'll
Okay.
take last watch.
Okay, so Ula, you got the split shift. The split sleeping shift, that is, of course. Very good.
We'll plant her great sword in the ground and just sit up against it and nod off almost immediately.
Sadir sits down near the fire and takes out an old pipe and what looks to be tobacco, and packs a small pipe and begins muttering under her breath and smoking before laying down to go to sleep.
And your watch, how long will you watch for, Jeff, before you wake Ula?
4 hours.
Oh, okay, very good. So you take a nice long watch. The 4 hours will pass uneventfully. It's eerily quiet in the wastes, but nothing occurs on your watch when you go before you go to wake Ula for her shift. And Ula, how do you spend your watch shift?
Ula would probably get a bit lost in her thoughts, remembering some of the poetry and stuff she had been listening to recently in the city. Yeah, she would probably sit there, maybe go for a stroll after a little while, just around the kind of edge of the cave and stuff like that.
Okay, go ahead and give me a wisdom roll. Now, the way you do that is to roll a d20. You want to roll equal to or under your wisdom score.
Okay. So I rolled a 14. Don't know what my wisdom score is. 1 second. My
It's less
wisdom
than
10.
14.
Wisdom
Yeah.
is 10, so I have 4 over.
Okay, so you're kind of strolling around and you're reflecting on this particular poet that you've kind of become enamored of his poetry, maybe not necessarily the man himself so much, but his work. You're reflecting on that and thinking to yourself, when all of a sudden you hear rocks tumbling behind you as if something were there.
Out comes the great sword. Turn around, give a good look over where I think the sound came from.
And there you see a spotted hyena glaring at you, its eyes reflecting the lights from the auroras in the sky. It's glaring at you, and its hackles are raised, and it's in a bit of an aggressive pose, but it doesn't move towards you yet.
Do I sense any dragon blood in it or any dragon mutation in it?
No. In fact, as a dragon wife, let me double check this. That may only be for full-blooded dragons, though. Yeah, it is. You can sense dragons from within a mile, but a dragon creature. Go ahead and give me another wisdom roll.
Sorry, I thought I could sense any dragon blood. 14 again.
14 again.
Yeah.
And you in turn know when you're within a mile of a dragon specifically, not a dragon-blooded creature. However, I will allow you this. You know that most dragon-blooded creatures, unless they're in overwhelming numbers or are extremely powerful, such as a real dragon or a large drake itself, usually tend to flee from dragon wives, especially when they travel in numbers. So the
Okay.
hyena stands there and just kind of snarls a little bit, glaring at you.
So I have the remainder of it, like part of the rations that I gave to Cody. So Ula will, clearly show the bit of the ration, put a little bit in her mouth, and just fling it off to the side.
And the hyena just looks at you and looks over at the food, looks at you again, and snarls. What kind of fool do you take me for? How do I know you won't attack me if I turn my back on you?
I have no interest in killing small animals.
You are in my territory here, threatening my family.
We but travel through here. We do not threaten your family.
It looks over at the food and looks at you, kind of sideways, almost kind of looks at you and turns and kind of walks towards the food, and then it walks around the food in a way so that it can always keep its eyes on you, and it bends down and it sniffs it. It says, have you more of this?
That is all you shall have. Now go.
What prevents me from taking all I want? He snarls.
The Ula shows the huge huge great sword in her hand. She just holds it up like that, like just to her side. She said, "This is what prevents you."
A fine argument. And it bends down and it scoops the food up in its mouth. Go ahead and roll another wisdom check. This is like for a perception purpose.
It will not be a 14. It will not be a 14.
Yeah, right. It scoops up the food and trots off, but I want to see if you notice something.
It is a 9, which is 1 under my wisdom score.
You do notice as the hyena scoops up this food and trots off, it didn't swallow the food, so you think it's carrying it off for something else.
I'll take note of the direction it goes, and I'll head back to the cave.
Yeah, you get back to the cave without any further incident. You do hear the kind of laugh-like bark of a couple of hyenas in the distance, but it's quite distant at this point. You reckon it's a small pack, maybe a family unit.
Okay. So Ula will just wait out the rest of her watch, and once it's time, she'll inform Sadir of all that has happened and just to be vigilant, but that we should not be bothered.
Sure. How long do you want to watch for before you wake Sadir? The sun will be coming up about 4 hours after your watch began. So,
I don't really know much about kind of how long a character can go before getting fatigued or anything like that. Do I?
It's generally required. I think 6 hours sleep is considered a good night's sleep. So.
Well, I'll try and get a couple hours of sleep, I suppose. So I'll wake maybe Sadir an hour or two before sunrise.
Okay, no problem. Do you say anything to her when you wake her about your encounter, or?
Yes. So I will say, Sadir, it appears we have a family of hyenas. I do not think they will trouble us, but just be wary.
I shall keep my spear handy.
Indeed.
Okay. And how does Sadir pass her watch?
Well, first.
Oh, yes. You have an ability, don't you?
Do. So.
Go ahead and tell us what that is.
So Sadir has spent her life honing her senses to almost commune with dragons in a way. And when she sleeps, she can reach out with her mind and sometimes is able to sense them and learn a bit about them and where they might be. And tonight she slept and did not learn more about a dragon nearby.
Okay.
And she wakes disappointed.
No dreams of dragons this night.
No dreams of dragons this night.
Just for a bit of information for anyone watching this again, since as far as I know, this is the first time anybody's run this and broadcast it. What Katie's referring to is an ability that she rolled when her dragon wife leveled up. I'll see if I can find it exactly here. Man, I
think it was 64 is what I rolled.
There it is, yep. So she has learned how to look into the minds of dragons, and when sleeping, she rolls a d20. On a 19 or 20, she can know the dreams, mutations, and location of any one living dragon. So maybe you'll have better luck the next night.
Here's hoping.
But the rest of your watch, the couple of hours before the sun begins to rise, passes without any event. No further visits. You don't even hear the hyenas barking or anything in the background. It passes quietly, and the sun begins to rise, and the sky starts off as a fiery golden color that just kind of brightens. Eventually, let me check on some weather encounters. Yes, very similar weather again. So the sun begins to rise. It starts off as a really fiery golden color until eventually turning back into that amberish sky as pictured.
I watch the sunrise and am reminded of dragon blood, and I wake the others when I feel that they have sufficiently rested.
Very good. So Sadir wakes the rest of you a little bit after dawn. You can break your fast and begin your journey again across the waste. And it's quite a monotonous and rather boring journey for the rest of that day until you get into the early evening hours. At which point, along the way, of course, you would have spotted this somewhat in the distance. You do spot the bog that you're approaching. And you see actual trees, whereas you do occasionally see trees in the waste, but they're always dead. But now you see actual trees with signs of life on them. You can see that sickly moss green kind of look. And there is actual water collected from previous rains. It usually rains a combination of water and ash and acid, and sometimes more and sometimes less of any of those. But it never rains just pure water. However, in this bog, you can see where a lot of water has collected. And you can assume that the dragon you seek resides somewhere therein. So by the time you reach the edge of this bog, it will be around 5 o'clock in the evening. You'd have maybe a few more hours of light to travel by before having to worry about it getting too dark.
Do not know what smells worse, Cody or the bog.
That depends upon the sort of smells you are used to.
The bog does smell pretty rank. It's got an almost noxious, turn your stomach kind of smell to it. That, like as you can see in the photo, I'm sure this is not fresh water by any means. It's almost black in places. It's so filled with ash and it's quite. It's probably been standing for quite a long time as well. Nothing fresh about it. It smells quite disgusting, like a week old fart in a potato chip bag.
Any sign of creature life around the bog?
No, you don't detect any life. However, go ahead and give me a wisdom roll. I keep throwing these at you, Will. You can all roll wisdom rolls, in fact. So remember, Jeff, that's a D20, and you want to roll equal to or below your wisdom.
10 on the button this time, and my wisdom is 10.
Okay. How did you do, Katie and Jeff?
Oh, no. My wisdom's a 9. I rolled a 17.
Sadir's still thinking about those dragon dreams.
I rolled a 4 of 9.
Very good. So you probably feel it first, Cody, as you're making your way into this bog, and you're trying to probably stick to as dry a land as you can, not wanting to wade through this rank water. But the hair on the back of your neck, as sweaty and damp as it is, begins to rise a little. You feel like you're being watched.
Hey, it ain't that sweaty, okay? I took off my leather armor a long time ago.
I know. It's still quite
And
hot.
I'm sure I smell better than the bog. Just for the record.
In fairness, you do smell better than a week-old fart in a potato chip bag.
And I'll tell the other two, say, hey, I think we're being watched. Something's nearby. Feel it.
And you feel it as well around that point, just as he says it, Ula. Sadir, you were lost in La La Land yourself, and you don't have the same feeling that they have, but I'm sure you trust your companions.
I think you are right, Cody. Now that you say it, there is something strange.
Sadir gestures to a tree. All of this is strange these days.
So you're at the edge. You're just kind of entering the bog. You're trying to stick to as dry a land as you can. It's very muddy though and mucky. It's a combination of mud and soaking wet ash, and so it's kind of mixtures of gray and brown and black. Yeah, I could think of a lot of different visual ways to describe it, but I think I won't push my luck after the potato chip bag reference. So it's gross. So what is your plan? Do you want to keep on pressing through?
I know that as a dragon wife, it probably wouldn't be terribly uncommon for us to come across natural plant life in water because it spawns around dragons. But would that be the sort of thing that dragon wives might be famed for collecting and bringing back, the fresh plants that are growing to grow in the cities? Would it be worth it to stop and grab saplings or anything like that?
Yes, but maybe not for the reasons you're thinking.
Okay.
Because the life and the water and everything else that is all part of life that tends to arise in these locations is usually poisonous and not fit for consumption. However, there is definitely a market for such things, so you may also collect and bring some back for those purposes exactly. You don't want to fill up your water skins here, though, if you're planning to drink out of them.
Oh, no, I have 4 water skins, and I have been drinking well on the way here to prepare for the fight. I was thinking more of collecting small saplings and kind of like bringing them back as tokens, you know.
Yeah, you certainly could do
Remnants
that.
of the dragon. Yeah, so just a few. I have a saddle bag that doesn't have much in it, so a few healthy-looking ones I would collect along the way and pack them into the saddlebag.
We'll put healthy in quotation marks, seeing as everything is essentially irradiated. And yeah,
a few well-growing, however sickly.
indeed, yeah, you can find some twisted little saplings with almost like glow in the dark. You know those glow sticks that you snap, those green ones that, yeah, you know, like the moss like that kind of growing on them. Perhaps that's even one of the many uses that they can, the alchemists back in the Dragon City can make out of them. They can use them to make light sources, poisons, etc. Also, it's good to collect wood because the more wood that they can use to make tools and weapons without depleting their own supply of trees within the city, the better.
Larger pieces of wood, I think I would wait until the dragon's dead, but for now, small trinkets along the way.
Fair enough. Yeah, the bog's not going to disappear overnight if you kill the dragon, so.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should circle the bog for a while before wading in. What do you think, Cody?
Cody, you're muted if you're responding.
I think, do we really have a choice here? How far does this bog go around? It might take us too long to go the long way around, and we might just have to buck up and run right through it.
Could be right. You could be right. What say you, Sadir?
If Ula and Sadir could both give me intelligence rolls this time.
Only mildly regret switching my intelligence and my dex. Not really. 16 over 9.
17 over 10.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I have no further wisdom to impart upon you then.
I think
what about my survival skills,
Ian? Your survival skills? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and give me a bushcraft roll. And we're going to see if you've ever encountered a dragon bog such as this one before, and if you know any of their kind of intrinsic properties as such.
2 or 3 again.
Very good. Yeah, you know that these dragon bogs are usually at least 12 miles in diameter. So so you have an idea as to the size of it. It'd be about 12 miles across from any one point to the other point, and actually almost exactly 12 miles across from one point to another point usually. Now you have about 2 hours of sunlight left, and even that is because now you're amongst the trees. It's going to be darker than it was when you're just out in the wasteland, of course, because the trees will help to hide a lot of the sun's light as it starts to get dark. It's already casting a lot of shadows here.
Well, I'm guessing this bog here is probably around 12 miles across. So for us to get through it, it's going to be at least another day, maybe 2, to get around it. That's going to be at least 3-4 days, maybe. So I don't know. It's up to you girls what you want to do.
Do we know of any particular signs to look for? What dragon nests would look like? What they do to build them?
It really is very, very variable based on the dragon itself. All the dragons, I don't want to say that they're all unique, but there's so many different kinds. However, since you're thinking along those lines, let's roll another intelligence roll.
Yeah, if I see any armor pieces lying around making a Hansel and Gretel trail. No, 18 over 9. I roll terribly in every game I play until I play a game where low rolls are good.
Yeah,
So
you know that some of them make their layers above ground, some of them burrow below ground, some of them make them in caves, some of them make them in up high on the mountains overlooking areas as well. Just there's so much variation, you're not really sure, and since nobody has seen this particular dragon's lair yet, you don't know. You just have to go based on what you know of bogs, I suppose, and kind of go from there.
Okay, let's fucking go. Let's go.
If this radiation causes this growth, the dragon is possibly near to the center anyway.
Okay.
Ula starts going into the bog.
All right, Ula.
How would the horse fare in all this?
Well, that's going to depend on your pathfinding. So we're going to put that, I think, again on your survival expert. Since you decided to bring the specialist, I figured I might as well make lots of things for the specialist to do. Give us a bushcraft roll there, Cody. Let's see how well you can do at finding a path that the horse can travel through and you can all travel through without getting too wet.
D6, right?
Yep.
4.
Oh, not as good this time. So after about half of an hour, you just can't find enough dry land. You're going to have to trek through the water a bit. And so you're pushing through, trying to make your way towards what you assume would be about the center of this bog. And you haven't even gone half of a mile yet. And you're already at this point in time. In fact, everybody give me dexterity rolls. Or, yeah, give me dexterity rolls. We'll do it that way for now.
11 of 17.
Oh, you're fine, Cody. Yeah, I mean, you're in water like up halfway up your thigh, but yeah, you're fine.
19 over 14.
Okay, and how did you do, Katie?
I rolled a 16. I have a 17.
Okay, so you make it as well. So the only one who doesn't make it is Ula. So you're able, you have to kind of get off your horse and guide it a little bit because you don't want to risk breaking its leg or something. So you're kind of walking in front of it and pulling it along behind you. Kind of like that kid in the never-ending story.
Oh no.
Let's hope the parallels end there.
Yeah.
However, Ula, you're struggling. You're pretty tall though as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. So you're in water, maybe almost up to your waist, but at one point you go to step in the muck, your feet with that suction bit, in the deep water. And all of a sudden the muck's just not there. I want you to roll a paralyze save, please.
Right, so my save on paralyze is 12. So it's just D20, is it?
It is. You want to roll 12 or higher. And what's your wisdom modifier? Because this is a non-magical save, so it's modified by your wisdom.
I think it's just 0. Like it's 10, so...
Yep, 0. No problem. So it's roll a D20.
I rolled a 5.
That's not good.
Oh, sorry.
Roll equal to or higher for saves.
Oh,
yep.
Shit.
It's a little tricky in the old school. Yeah, you got to roll high for saves, low for ability checks. So, yeah, you go to step and just the ground you're expecting, the muddy ground you're expecting to step into isn't there. And you topple over and go under the water. Ula, with a splash, disappears in a big circle of disgustingly black and brown water.
Cody's going to run up and jump down and grab her real quick.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to call that a strength check. You can reach down, you can find her, and you can feel she's really deeper than she should be. And once you went down, you hit another level of mud itself, Ula, Ula, and now you feel like you're just like sinking in mud, like it's pulling you almost down into it. But you feel Cody's hands come down and grab you. So give me a strength check there, Cody. It's a D20, and you want to roll equal to or below your strength.
Equal to or below? I rolled a 1.
Wow. Yeah, you meet an unusual amount of resistance, and with your kind of personal skills, you've heard of this thing. You've probably even experienced like quicksand, and sometimes it lies underwater to where it's disguised. And in this case, you believe what has happened is Ula is sinking into quicksand about 3 feet under the water. So you're able to reach down and grab her, and you forcefully yank her up with a great feat of strength. Actually, you pull her straight out of it with a real sucking sound, and she comes up, splashes up out of the water, probably takes a deep breath, and she's just covered almost completely, maybe except for maybe the back of her head, in this just black and gray muck.
Ula picks some of the gack out of her ears and flicks it away and like scoops it out of her eyes so she can see properly again. The mud tries to eat me.
It seems now it is you who smells worse than Cody.
I deserve that.
Okay. Everybody give me wisdom checks again, please. All 3 of you, though.
Is it okay if you roll the same as your wisdom? Is that good or bad?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
9.
I rolled a 20.
I
Same
rolled
with
a
the first 2. If you hit your target number, you're still fine. You rolled a 5, Cody?
3.
A 3. What's your wisdom?
9.
Okay. So you would notice first, you kind of after you pick her up out of the water and she's trying to get as much of the shit off of her as possible, you kind of look up, and although the sky is beginning to darken, you do kind of peek through the trees and you notice the clouds. Those aren't just ash clouds now. You actually see what you believe to be rain clouds forming overhead, which means some kind of rain is coming.
Oh, that's not good. It's getting ready to rain here soon. We might need to find cover.
It is near nightfall anyway. We can make camp for the evening.
Okay, how would you like to make camp then? Now that you're in a
Well,
different kind of environment, there aren't going to be any caves probably here.
no, time to use bushcraft to figure out the best place we can bed down.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Ooh, I rolled a 1.
Okay, so what kind of shelter would you think to look for? Like actual trees? Are you going to try to make something?
I would say try to find a couple trees clustered together, and
Mm-hmm.
then use some other branches and stuff to make some kind of like a lean-to kind of.
Exactly. Okay, you can do that. And just as well that you do that, because as you're in the process of doing it, it begins to rain, lightly at first, but rapidly increasing. So as he's breaking down branches and setting up this lean-to, this rain begins to fall. First, it's just a few heavy drops, and these are heavy, heavy drops. And then they start to pick up, where it's pat, 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 and to where it starts to really start to come down. And you notice that this rain is sizzling, and that this is highly acidic rain, and it's causing, even when it's hitting the water in the bog, it's causing steam and bubbles to rise up. Yeah. So, what do you guys want to do in reaction to realizing now that there's a heavy acid rain coming down?
Make sure we're on high ground, if that's possible.
Yeah, you are, thanks to his one on his bushcraft roll. That's where he managed to find a good dry area with a couple of trees where he's fashioning this lean-to. However, the lean-to is not yet complete, and it would cover the three of you, but not the horse.
We can't make a bigger one.
Well, you can if you want to spend the time to do so.
The horse is sort of crucial to my battle strategy, so I would see if there's a way that I could fashion something. Do I see it eating through like the materials that we have currently, or like is it raining on us already?
It is, yeah, it's starting to come through the trees, and it's probably just now bits are starting to hit maybe you or the horse. So that's going to raise an interesting question. What dry, flammable goods would you happen to have on you? Now, Ula, at the moment, nothing she has on her is dry. So that's one advantage to getting sucked into the quicksand, I suppose. But the rest of you, you were in water like up to, well, in your case, Sadir, it was probably up to your waist, whereas it was about maybe a little over the knee to mid-thigh on old Cody there.
I just have my weapons in my backpack out. Everything else is in. Well, the arrows would be dry.
That's a good call. Okay, so I would like you to give me. We're going to call this a breath weapon save.
There's not a dragon around, so I'm not immune to that, huh? I'm kidding.
No, this isn't an actual breath weapon. It's just a comparable save.
So if my save's a 13, I rolled a 14, I'm good?
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so you realize right away that your arrows are exposed, and so you're able to do. What do you do to protect them from getting hit by this burning rain?
I swing the quiver off and I tuck it into one of the leather saddlebags, which I remove from the horse currently and put under the lean-to, as I'm looking about for a way to create some sort of safe haven for my my poor horse.
Okay.
Does Ula notice if the rain is like, is it eating through the mud caked skin? Like,
Yeah, you can all take a point of damage at this point. You've been in this rain for a couple of rounds, so you can all take a point of damage from this burning acid that's hitting you.
The mud doesn't do anything to prevent it.
No, unfortunately, the acid quickly dissipates the mud wherever it hits you, and that section of your body is now uncomfortably dry.
I am going to remind them to put away anything flammable first.
Very good idea. So she says that to the rest of you. Did you have anything exposed and flammable, Cody?
Yeah, my bow and my arrows.
Okay, give me a breath save, please.
I rolled a 13 out of 14 save.
That's not good enough. So how many quivers of arrows do you have?
Well, I have 3 of them, but only one of them was visible. The other 2 are in the backpack.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 chance that it hits the quiver or your bow then. That would be the quiver. So the quiver that is exposed gets hit by a couple of these drops, and it sizzles. You hear it sizzling, and you see smoke actually rising up off of Cody's back. And you see like a little hint of ignition as this quiver of arrows starts to catch a very small fire at the moment.
I'm assuming these are just like lashed on via leather.
Yeah, correct? Yeah, they're probably some kind of leather strap or something.
Can I? We're still in the bog.
Yeah, you are. You're up on higher ground, making this lean-to. But yeah, you're in the bog. There's water not too far away.
Yeah, there's ground that's wet. Can I just reach over with my lance and say, hold still, and like just kind of like cut the top off so it falls off of him, or cut like the strap so it falls off of him onto the wet ground?
Yep, you can do that. So Sadir reaches over and lashes out, telling you not to move. She lashes that strap and cuts the quiver off your back. It hits the ground, still smoldering. Maybe light flames licking up around the arrows.
And kick it into the bog if I can.
What'd you say, Cody?
I said, what in the Sam hell are you doing?
Saving you from a fiery death. And the butt of the spear. I'll flip it over and with the butt of the spear, kind of like bat it down the hill into the wet water.
Yep. So by that point in time, the flame's starting to spread a little bit, and you see some of the arrows are blackened, and you flick it off, and it hits the water with a sizzle, and a bit of smoke rises up as it starts to sink rapidly into the water. The water itself now, where you see it, is all bubbling and stuff from this acid hitting it, almost like it's boiling. And it's causing a gas to rise up off of the water itself. You can see it's become quite foggy now, especially in the watery areas. And you can all take another point of damage from acid rain, and your horse is also taking 2 points. I'll keep track of your horse's hit points here. What's your horse's name?
Sarah.
Sarah. Nice name. You thought I was going to let her drown. No, I'm just going to burn her with acid.
Yeah, nice, so great. The story is no longer paralleled, to be fair. So there's that.
So Sarah is really uncomfortable, and she's getting really nervous as this is hitting her, and you see she's on the edge of panic.
How closely bonded would a dragon wife, being one of the only beings probably powerful enough to have a horse? How closely bonded are they? Do their animals answer them without question, or are they considered more just a tool?
Well, I mean, they're still a horse. They're not entirely sentient, but horses are pretty intelligent animals. So yeah, do you want to try to soothe it?
No.
What do you want to tell her? What do you want to command her to do?
Sarah, I have no place for you here. Go to the edge. Wait for my return.
Oh, you're going to tell her to leave the bog and...
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I'll just roll for the horse, a reaction roll, and see what it does. The horse looks at you almost knowingly, and it seems to even nod to some extent. Did you take the saddlebags off of it first?
I mentioned when I made the roll and notice that I took the quiver off and put it in the bags.
Yes, you did. Of course, you did. Under the lean-to.
Put those under the lean-to.
Thank you. I forgot. I got
and
lost.
I put my bow under there too. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that was kind of the motion. This is dry stuff, ack.
So she turns and she starts to run at places even through the boiling bog water itself. But you can occasionally hear her cry out in pain as she just runs away from you as fast as she can, back the way you came from. You're only maybe a couple of miles into this bog anyway, so.
How large is the actual rain cloud?
At this point in time, the sky, from what you can see through the trees, is completely dark.
Do you think we should just wait this out? What if it does not stop?
Oh, it pays to wait and see so we don't burn alive before we arrive.
I don't think we have much choice but to wait at this point, do we? Unless we want to end up just a pile of bones.
How well is the acid eating through the vegetation itself? That, like, of the lean-to that we're building?
That's a very good question. Give me a bushcraft roll to see how well you selected your wood and how dry or not dry it was.
Me?
No, Cody.
Oh, okay. Good.
You're a survival expert.
2.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, there's places where it's sizzling and popping, like wet wood in a fire. But it just kind of smokes a little bit and sizzles. It doesn't seem to be igniting, not like the completely dry wood of the arrows was. You guys gonna help him finish off the lean-to real quick so you can get fully into cover? I'll roll to see how long that will take.
Yeah, that'd be nice. A little help here, please.
You're all going to take another 4 points of damage total from this acid rain as you're finishing off the lean-to and getting into cover. But then You're all huddled in underneath the kind of damp wood over your heads, sizzling and popping from the raindrops as it continues to rain quite heavily now. The bog all around you, like I said, the water is just it looks like a sauna, like a really stinky shit-filled sauna, basically. And it smells a lot worse than it did earlier. And this fog is rising and getting thicker and stronger. I would like you all to make poison saves, please, because you're choking a little bit on this noxious gas, basically, that's rising off the boiling bog. Okay. So here you made yours. You're able to, you're covering your mouth as best you can with your clothing, and you cough and you find yourself frequently having to spit, because you get this dirty ashen taste in your mouth, but you don't succumb to any negative effects.
Yeah, I rolled a 15. I kind of forgot that I have to roll high for this one, so initially I was upset, but
no, you did well.
Actually, yeah.
And how did you do, Cody?
Cody wrote a 12 of 12.
Perfect. Good enough. You're able to do so. So you're all uncomfortable, and it's horrible smelling and tasting, but none of you succumb to any negative effects, mechanical effects from this poisonous fog itself, per se. You're able to keep yourselves, you wrap up makeshift masks or whatever you need to do to protect yourselves from it. It's a good thing, Cody. I think you have the best saves in the whole group, too. So that was a close one. I don't know if the other ones would have succeeded on a 12 or not. I'm not sure. But okay, so you've got your lean-to. It's continuing to rain. It's with the rain cloud overhead now. It's almost completely dark.
I have this nice bar of soap that I brought with me. I'm going to cut off a little piece of it and shove it up my nose.
Nice. To try to counter the smell, you shove a chalk stick of soap up your nose. Okay.
Perhaps next time, Cody, you can just rub a bit on your face.
Who was it that noticed earlier? Cody and Ula. I would like you both to make wisdom rolls again, please. Not you, Sadir.
I got a 16 roll on a 9 wisdom.
I got a 3 on 10 wisdom.
Okay, you notice Cody. Or not Cody, sorry, Ula. Cody doesn't because he's just too busy dealing with the soap. And, he's trying to sort something out so as to reduce the noxious smell that you're all exposed to here. But you realize that feeling you've had since you entered the bog of being watched is gone now.
Cody, do you feel that the eyes that we felt, they are gone?
No, I didn't notice, actually. I was too busy playing with my soap over here. Good. Maybe one less thing to worry about.
I wonder what it was.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
This is true.
We hope it is not our quarry.
Well, you remember, if you're within a mile of a dragon, you'll sense it, you'll know. So, you haven't felt that feeling yet. The dragon lust will come upon you once you get within a mile of it. So you guys can huddle under here. How do you want to try to sleep through the night? This storm is going to last until a little bit before dawn, this rain. It's not going to burn through your lean-to, although it is going to get thinner and it's going to crack in places, and there'll be times when you'll have to move bits and pieces to cover it up again. But you're going to make it through the night just without suffering any further damage from this acid rain. But the boiling and the fog will probably still be quite thick in the morning as well. How do you want to pass the night? You've got probably nearly another 12 hours before the sun rises, and the storm will probably last another 10 hours.
Well, Ula will start off by trying to recite a poem for the others, one that she remembered about how the gods protected the cities from the spread of the kind of the dragon sickness and stuff like that, and their light still shines within their walls and things. It's a long poem.
How about Sadir and Cody?
I'll listen intently at the poetry. Obviously, that's something that is greatly appealing to her. And she is reflecting upon the task ahead of them and sort of focusing on her typical ritual before sleep when she's hoping to connect with the mind of a dragon.
Cody's just going to try and get some sleep for a little while.
Okay. Yeah, you probably can't really very safely make a fire in these conditions. And within a couple of hours, it's going to be completely dark because thanks to this storm cloud, there is no aurora over you this night. You can't even see the moon. So it gets like pretty much pitch black here in this bog. But you can pass the night, as you've said. And perhaps you'll all awaken maybe a couple of hours before dawn when the storm actually stops. Just the sheer fact that the silence itself and the lack of sound from the storm stopping and the water, stopping its boiling will kind of awake you, if you know what I mean. Like if you ever fall asleep on a train or something, and then the train stops, all of a sudden, it kind of wakes you up instinctually. So you'll all wake up around 4 o'clock in the morning once the storm has stopped. It's still pitch black, maybe just hints of light starting in the sky. Go ahead and give me your roll and see if you had any dreams, Katie.
Natural 20.
You did. You dream of a very large dragon, one of the largest you've ever seen in your life. Not necessarily one of the largest that's ever existed, but one of the largest you've ever seen. It sits on top of a mountain of swords. It is covered. At first, it seems to be wearing steel armor before you realize that it itself is made of steel. Its scales, often looking like swords themselves, coming off of its body. You see this creature and you know this is your mark. This is Vith Marfadellum. He looks in your direction in the dream and he opens his mouth and a cry comes out that sounds like the scream and pleading of his many, many human victims. That roar fills you with a sickening kind of fear, and you retch and vomit uncontrollably for several rounds. You feel yourself weakened by this. You try to pick up your spear to charge and attack him, and your great lance, as it were, it feels twice its already great weight in your hands. You charge at him and you strike at his scales. And at first, your lance just bounces off of his many sword-bladed scales, before finally making purchase and drawing some of his thick, ruby, almost black blood. And you see the wound itself start to slowly close and heal up in front of your eyes. He opens his mouth again, but instead of a scream this time, a dozen small wyverns fly out of his mouth and hoard around you, picking at your skin, biting into you, slashing at you with their claws. And that's when you wake from the dream. And I'd like to take a quick intermission. If anybody wants to use the restroom or get a fresh beverage, anything of that sort, we'll break for a few minutes and I'll be back as soon as I can.
Cool.
Okay, I have returned. Thank you to those who tuned in to watch tonight. I see we still have at least one viewer with us. We had up to, I think, 4 earlier. Perhaps they'll come back. Sometimes people step away while we're on intermission. Jules Cole popped in a message, watching, looking forward to what is going to unfold. And Ambient Relaxation, hey, said, I look great with a beard. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's one of the channels I have subscribed to for my many ambient relaxation videos. I like to listen to storms and things like that when I'm trying to relax, or even sometimes when I'm writing or reading. It's a very enjoyable channel. I like it a lot for those nice, 6 hours wind in trees or rain on a car top kind of videos. All right. Just waiting for my players to return. So just to fill anybody else in, fill in some of the blanks, anybody who's watching this, basically what I did for this adventure is I took one of Marquise's blog posts on the setting, the one about dragons. I think it's called Dragons Are Radioactive Moon Aliens. And he's got charts in there for randomizing dragons. You can make up all kinds of different dragons using those charts. Now, I didn't randomize. I just kind of custom picked what I wanted to go for the flavor of my vision for this particular one shot, and constructed a dragon from that. And then I decided to make this adventure. I figured along the way I wanted to kind of highlight the wasteland itself a little bit, and also some of the possible toxins of the environs. Now, I know Marquise is constantly adding more to the blog. There's going to be more information coming probably on an almost daily basis. In fact, I've even found a few blog posts which I haven't got a chance to read yet. So a lot of this is my own kind of take, my own flavor that I've added to what he's already shown me on his blog. But yeah, I really enjoyed his dragon mechanics and the dragon wife class, which is also on that blog. I will post that blog in the link. Sorry, I'll link that blog, I should say, in the description of this video when it's all done and recorded. So if you want to come back here and have a look at the video description, you'll be able to click on the blog and check it out yourself. There's some really cool shit on there. And most of it, I'd say probably 90% of it seems to all so far relate to this lands blessed and burned setting. I'm quite enjoying it. And if anybody noticed the image I had up earlier at the beginning of the video, I think I can pull it back up here now. That is an album cover from an album by a band called Conan. The album was called Blood Eagle, and that's the record that I listened to kind of give me inspiration for this particular setting, or for this particular one shot. So that's what I listened to while I was designing all this stuff. Yeah, Blood Eagle by Conan. Great band, great album. If you like doom metal. If you don't like doom metal, well, tough shit. Why are you watching this heavy metal dragon hunting video then, eh? Now. Still nobody back, just me here. It looks like. We're easily, I'd say, halfway through this one shot. We're going to be coming to the climax before too long, I reckon. If my players ever return from their various bathroom and refreshment quests. Take a look back at the comments, see if anybody wrote anything else. No new comments. Okay. I will take this chance to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel and everybody who watches these videos. I do greatly appreciate it. I know I made the cut. I made the February 20th deadline to hit 1,000 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody who helped me out on that particular personal quest. So I managed to maintain my YouTube partnership membership, which meant a lot to me. Anyway, it was silly, but I just didn't want to be excluded from it after basically I only signed up for it in the first place because YouTube kept sending me messages about it. And so I said, well, shit, okay, I'll do it. I was going to be pretty pissed off if they turned around and took it away from me then. So I made it. So thank you very much. Thanks to everybody who gave me shout outs and shared the links around and all that too. I see 2 players back. Will's back. Katie's back. The Dragon Wives are here. Jeff, if you're there, just give us a shout.
Yep, I'm here too.
Good. Then we'll pick right back up.
Yes, let us get right back to the bog of eternal stench.
Basically, yeah, right. That was, I'm not going to lie, that was a little bit of an inspiration for me. That and that great bog scene in, of course, the Never-Ending Story. Rest in peace, Artax. Rest in peace. So, Katie, I'm going to say that your Sadir is the first to wake. Just as the storm has basically come to a stop here at 4 o'clock in the morning, you wake from that dream just as you were engulfed by those wyverns that were slashing and biting at you. The others are still sleeping, maybe fitfully nearby.
Is it still like pitch dark outside?
It is, yeah. The sun, well, I guess obviously you don't have a watch, so you don't know what time it is, but I can tell you it's still a couple of hours before sunrise.
Mm-hmm. She kind of bolts upright, her muscles tense, a little bit of queasiness in her stomach, remembering the dream, and she just commits every bit of it she can to memory, trying to process and understand everything that she had seen. And I get to know his location specifically.
Yes, you do. You can feel him now. You sense him, and you look. Basically, the direction you were heading before you had to take shelter, you know he's at the heart of this bog, probably about 4 miles from your current location.
4 miles.
So
I get to know his mutations too.
Yeah, those were all in the dream.
So, okay.
I put them all in there.
Okay. I wasn't sure if those were specifics or if those were
Let me look and see if I miss anything. We got the breath. We got the roar. We got the sickly fear-like aura. We got the regeneration of his wounds, his metal scales. Yep, that's all of his mutations. They're all in the dream.
Okay.
I wanted to flavor it that way rather than just saying, oh, he has steel scales and he breathes wyverns.
No, it was wonderful. He breathes wyverns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that was what that was. Yeah. So she's basically, obviously, she's in sort of like this in-between stage of a fit of like excited rage for the hunt to be on and the fear of what she knows is to come, as deadly as dragons can be. And so she's steeling herself and reciting the dream to herself until everyone wakes up, or until it starts to become light. If no one's stirred, she'll wake them.
I'm going to say, what's your constitution, Cody? Jeff? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had my mouth full.
Okay.
Con was 7.
With food, I hope.
Yes.
Your con is 7. Okay, and what about yours, Ula?
10.
Yeah, Ula will wake up maybe about 15 minutes after you woke up there, Sadir, and Cody will wake up a few minutes after that. So Ula, you'll be the first to wake. It's still dark, but you'll probably be able to sense that Sadir is awake nearby just from her movement and breathing. Cody is still snoozing lightly, kind of snoring fitfully.
Do they have a term that they usually refer to each other as? Sister, wife, not sister, wife, like there's a comma there. What's...
I suppose sister could be appropriate. I don't remember reading anything in the blog, but I haven't read all of the blog either. I think I found some more entries today that I didn't know existed and that I'd missed. Sister sounds good to me.
Okay.
I think sister wife. Yeah, that means something else, right? So
yeah, that's there was a like sister comma wife, sister question mark wife question mark. Like,
Cody's the only one apparently from the south, so he might have a
Yeah.
sister wife, but yeah.
Yikes. So when she notices Lula stirring, it's still dark. So she just says, "Do your senses return to you, sister?"
Yes. What time is it?
Early. The sun has not yet risen, but I have dreamed of dragons this night.
Dreamed of them.
Yes. With my Fedalum, I saw him. He was sitting atop a mountain of swords. He was shine wreathed in swords himself as if he is made of their very steel. He opened his mouth and roared, and I could hear the wailing of children, men, as he cut them down. It caused a great fear in the dream. I was unable to control it. I retched. It was awful. From his maw came other kin, wyverns, as if he breathed them into life by sheer force of will. In the dream, when I regained myself, I attacked him fruitlessly at first, and then with the final strike, I saw the wound heal before me.
This dream, you believe it to be real, to be accurate?
This is what I have trained for. I reach out. This is my gift. In my dreams, I can find them. I know where he is, not for 4 miles.
An impressive gift, I must say.
It is not often. It is difficult, but with focus, it can come. Thank you. I've worked very hard.
About this point, you'll wake up and hear them talking, Cody, amongst themselves.
Cody, did you hear what Sister Sadir has said?
Yeah, I heard that. My question is, if he heals himself, how the hell are we supposed to kill him?
You do not kill him. We kill him. It is what we do. It just makes it a more difficult road, is all.
These
Just for the sightseeing, you know. I'm here to help kill a dragon.
No doubt, Cody, and you have been very useful along the way, and I'm sure you can be useful with that as well. Only stay far away.
these wyverns, these are also the dragonkin.
They are indeed, yeah. Wyverns are dragon-blooded creatures like kobolds. The way, and you would know this from your experience as dragon wives, the way I've kind of made the wyverns for this particular one shot anyway, for this scenario, and as far as we know at the moment, we'll just say that it's canon for this setting for us personally. They're basically the size, maybe a little bit larger than humans, but not a lot bigger. So they're very small as dragonkin go as well. They're essentially like miniature dragons, but they don't have breath weapons. They just have claws and teeth. They do fly, but yeah, they're nowhere near as dangerous on an individual basis as a dragon or even a drake. And a drake would be a flightless dragon that wanders on all fours. Some drakes might have breath weapons, but most of them don't. Just to give a little bit of an idea of the difference between wyverns and drakes, and then dragons are the big badasses.
Did I notice a specific number of the wyverns that emerged when he breathed them at me?
I did say about a dozen, yes.
About a dozen, that's what it was.
Or maybe I said exactly a dozen.
Okay.
Cody, go ahead and give me a bushcraft roll since you're kind of awake and you've got the sleep out of your eyes now.
3 of 3.
Yeah, so you can tell now that you're kind of looking around, you've got about, in the cloud, the big rain cloud has passed, and you can kind of see that like bronze-like aurora in the sky again. You'd say it's about an hour and a half before sunlight.
Is it still really, really dark?
Yeah, it's still like pitch black. I mean, you've got a little bit of light now, just because the main cloud has passed and the aurora has appeared lightly in the sky. It's still too dark to try to travel by far. You might occasionally catch a glimpse of the aurora reflecting off of each other's eyes and stuff, but
Well, girls, I'd say we got about another hour before we can start heading out. At least we know where we're going this time.
Then let us break our fast.
We'll break our fast and prepare for what is to come. He is one of the largest I've ever seen. He's a fearsome beast. You'll need to steel yourself.
yep. You guys want to start eating now before the sun rises so you can get moving as soon as it does, or?
Yep.
Makes sense. Sounds economic. It's not like you can go back to sleep for an hour, I don't think.
No, let's eat and get it over with.
It's not like we can set an alarm either, so don't want to wake up late.
On the bright side, you didn't have to set a watch last night with the storm, and you all got a pretty decent amount of sleep. Maybe not a very comfortable sleep sitting up underneath this lean-to, but, a decent amount of hours anyway.
With Lamentations, don't you gain like up 1 hit point for a night's sleep or something like that?
Yes, you do. If anybody, you can only gain one hit point per night in this kind of condition where you're just sleeping out in the wild. If you're getting bed rest and are being tended to properly, I think you can get more. And I'm not sure, but if anybody has a Constitution modifier, no, none of you do, except for Cody, who has a negative. So yeah, you each get 1 hit point back.
Yeah, when I finish eating, I just meditate on the rage and passion of battle until light starts to creep through.
Good. Yep, you guys eat. Prepare yourselves. The sun begins to rise. I'll do another quick weather and encounters check. Oh, the sky clears up quite good. So back to that kind of bronzen sky, or that amber-like sky, but even less ash clouds this morning than before. So it's pretty well lit. The bog is, however, still misty and foggy, as is represented in my picture there. And that it is still a very noxious smelling fog, so you'll have to keep your masks on for now. But yeah, the light has begun to shine down into the bog itself. And fortunately, because the acid rain was simultaneously boiling and evaporating some of the water that was already in the bog, the water levels haven't risen really or lowered anything too significantly either. But so it's not any less passable anyway than it was before. So Cody, do you want to go ahead and start us off with another bushcraft check to see how your pathfinding goes, as Sadir now knows the exact direction to where your quarry waits. She can sense it now after her dream.
1 of 3.
Perfect. So you're able to make your way. This 4 miles, I'm going to say, given the conditions, it's still going to probably take you about 3 hours to travel this 4 miles, just because you're constantly having to move around and find higher ground. But you're able to keep yourselves relatively dry this time, which is probably for the better, since that bog water is a lot more acidic than it was yesterday. Yeah, but you're able to find your way there without having to deal with any major terrain issues. Keep in mind, you did lose 1 quiver of arrows, Cody, so make sure you have that noted on your character sheet. I think you still have 2 left, right? So you should still have 40 arrows. And are you carrying your saddlebags with you, Sadir, or because you had dismissed your horse?
Yes, for now, I only had 1 saddlebag, so
Okay.
the weapons are strapped to me directly, and everything else is in the 1 saddlebag I'll carry by hand, and then the backpack.
Cool. So you're not leaving anything behind anyway. So
Not at this juncture.
okay, good. So the 4 hours, or sorry, the 3 hours pass. By the time you get, like, actually within let's see, about 2 hours of the last 45 minutes of it, about 2 hours 15 minutes after you start traveling, you start to feel that dragon lust rising, and you can both, Ula and Sadir, now feel Vith Marfadellum, and you can sense his presence. He's within a mile of your location, and you're getting closer and closer.
Quick question for you there, Ian.
Yeah.
Just on stats. So, like, if we do encounter this dragon, we get the +5 to con, dex, and strength.
Modifiers, not to the stats themselves, but to the modifiers.
Oh.
And keep in mind, that's one of the Dragon Wives abilities. That's when you're fighting with a dragon only. So if there are other creatures around, then you lose those abilities until there's nothing but the dragons left. Yeah. And all of those abilities are cumulative, right? So you get a bonus D12 damage die added to all attacks against any dragon-blooded creature, or creature affected by dragon radiation. You gain an additional attack per round as well against those creatures, and you take half damage from such creatures as a dragon wife. Okay, so that's when around any dragon-blooded creature, or creature affected by the radiation.
So I have a secondary question then for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we would add more HP for getting like +5 to our con and stuff like that.
Indeed, that would give you an extra 5 hit points per level, and I think I've marked that on your character sheet. If you look at your hit points, there's a parentheses about +20 against dragon only. So that can come and go, right? So if you're fighting the dragon, you suddenly get that +20 hit points, right? But if then kobolds appear or something, you lose those 20 hit points. So until there's nothing left but the dragon, at which point you get them back again. It's a little bit more bookkeeping, but they're mostly beneficial. So the other abilities you have then, if you're fighting against a dragon or drake, you also become immune to any breath weapons they produce, and you're immune to any save or die effects that they may have. Okay, so like if they're breathing fire or acid or lightning or something like that, it won't damage you, and you're immune to any save or die effects if they have them. And then the last 3 boons are when you're fighting only a dragon or multiple dragons and no other enemies, and that's when you get your additional attack. So you then have 3 attacks per round. You get your jump height of 60 feet. You become immune to fall damage, and that's when you also get your big boost to your strength, con, and dex modifiers. Okay.
Okay. Last question. Sorry. Level 4 fighter, is that just a single attack by default, or do they have?
Yeah, in Lamentations you don't get multiple attacks per round. It's based on the old school basic D&D. I don't think you get an extra attack at any particular level. Not like in later editions, 3rd edition and 4th edition and so on. Okay. Cool. Now, Cody, you're still leading the way. You are the Pathfinder. Give me a wisdom check, please.
While he's doing that, I just wanted to note that as the lust is rising, the water skin that I've been drinking from, there are 2 in my saddlebags. 1 is empty, and I'm going to just chug the second one.
Okay.
Preparing. So the 2 that are in the saddlebag are empty.
Okay, good. You still have 2 in your backpack then, though. Good. Preparing yourself for battle. How'd you do on that wisdom check, Jeff?
4 of 9.
Nice. So you see ahead 2 large mounds through the fog here in the bog. The fog in the bog. You see 2 big. At first, you might think they're hills, but then you realize they're really kind of dark, and at certain points, they seem to actually be reflecting light. So you think they're not just hills. And as you kind of lead the party closer and closer, you realize that they're definitely not like natural formations. These are some kind of man-made, possibly, piles, or perhaps dragon-made piles. And around that point in time is when Ula and Sadir will also be able to see these two big mounds, probably about 100 yards away from you at the moment, through the foggy bog.
And do we sense the dragon nearby since I know his location?
Yeah, you think that should be where he is. That should be his lair. You're right about the heart of the bog now, and the fog has started to dissipate. You might be able to take your masks off if you want to chance it. It's up to you, but no, nobody wants to chance it. That's fair. I don't blame you. So what would you like to do now that you see this? You want to continue to approach closer and get a better view of it? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to turn around and go home?
Never. I'm going to kind of like put the lance into the holder and have the short bow out for now. Take my quiver out of the saddlebags and put it back on me.
Okay.
Are we on kind of firmish ground now, or is it still very much watery stuff?
There's still quite a bit of water around, but you see that there's a big area, probably about, I'm going to say about 100 feet across, 100 feet in diameter, around those hills. And those hills actually probably take up about 2/3 of the area, though, at least. But that is all pretty dry ground. But you still have to be careful, of course, leading up to it.
So Beulah will just take her sword in both hands and continue on.
Okay. Cody and Sadir, anything to add, or just pressing on?
What's the game plan here? What we gonna do? Are we just gonna run in there and say, "Hey," or you guys have some other ideas in mind?
Now, Sadir and Ula, you both know that if there is a dragon there, it could probably hear him talking at that level.
Quite a fool. You come hunting dragon you do not know to keep your voice down.
I wasn't talking that loud, actually, Ian.
I assumed you were talking as loud as you're actually talking, so if you want to talk quietly, talk quietly.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Thank you.
We should approach slowly. Pick off any outsiders. There's not much in surprising a dragon, but you can at least thin its hair.
Once, if we reach dry land, Beulah will light a torch anyway.
Okay.
Probably plant it in the ground, just firmly. Just have it there.
Okay.
Cody's gonna get his weapons ready. That's longbow, standard sword, dagger. Put my leather armor back on.
So at this point, you've probably gotten to be about 30 to 40 feet away from these mounds themselves, and at which point you can get a nice clear view of them. And this is where you've kind of reached the edge of the dry ground around these two mounds. One of the mounds is a pile of weapons and armor and shields, and there's even like you see bits of a catapult and a ballista in there. Yeah, you see a battering ram. Lots. You see horse armor. Some of the armor and the horse armor still has rotting bodies within it. And it's all just piled up in this hill that's probably at this stage about 20 feet high at its apex. And beside it is an even bigger mound of what looks, so this is maybe 30 feet high at its apex, of what looks to be just like scraps of metal and like as if somebody had just taken apart or maybe destroyed many large machines of war and items. You don't see any particular weapons or bodies of armor within that per se. It's just like think of like sheet and scrap metal and stuff all just piled up there. And you can feel Sadir and Ula both. You know he's got to be around here somewhere.
Do you know what specific signs to look for? Or is it more of like I can feel the direction we need to go?
You still feel like the direction to go is forward towards these two mounds, even though you're only like 30 feet away from it. But as for signs, like I said, dragons, they're all quite different, mostly unique even. So it's hard to say necessarily what kind of sign one dragon might leave as to another. You may look to your dream vision for guidance, perhaps, but yeah, I can't really give you much more information than that. The moment you just see these two mounds, one of obvious whole items of war and the other of just scrap and junk. Nothing identifiable in that pile.
I say we just press on, being prepared.
Yeah, as we move on a little bit further, Ula will light another torch and stick it in the ground.
At this point, I would like you all to make stealth rolls. So those of you who aren't trained in stealth, being the the ones that aren't the specialists, you have a 1 in 6 chance of success. So you roll a d6. You need to roll a 1 or better. And Jeff, did you put any points into stealth?
Yeah, I have 3. I have a couple points in stealth.
Okay, so yeah, so you have a 3 in 6 chance.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, you're quiet as a mouse.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, you are not quiet.
And a 4.
And a 4. Neither of the Dragonwise are particularly quiet as they're moving forward. Perhaps the dragon lust overcoming them, just excited because they know their prey is close. Where exactly do you want to walk? Do you want to walk towards either of the piles specifically? Or are you going to try to walk around them? We're going to say the pile of swords and weapons and stuff is on the left, and the larger unidentifiable, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, unidentifiable pile of scrap metal is on your right as you're approaching.
I saw him sitting on a mound of swords. Let us move closer to the other one. He may be closer to that one.
Cody's gonna.
Sorry?
Cody's gonna stealthily start actually moving around to the back of the pile of swords.
Okay, so you're moving around the left. Sadir is moving kind of more directly towards the unidentifiable pile on the right. God damn. That's what I get for drinking 2 beers before starting a game. And Will?
Do we hear anything at all? It's dead quiet.
Roll a wisdom for me.
Can I do that as well?
Yes, you can.
I rolled a 1.
Cody cannot.
5.
Both of you, are you moving along with Sadir, Ula, or which direction were you headed?
I guess I would go toward the middle, like between the two piles.
Okay. So Sadir is going more to the right. Cody is flanking around the left pile, and you're kind of more in the middle, walking forward. And you both realize, the two dragon wives, that the unidentifiable pile is moving slightly, very slowly rising and very slowly sinking back down. And then it starts to rise again, and it starts to shift and move.
I shoot it.
As the dragon itself rises up before you, standing on all fours as his wings spread out to about 150 foot wide spread. He stands easily 30 foot tall at the shoulder as he rises up in front of you, and you realize there was no pile there. That pile was the dragon. And you can see a nice little image of him there on the screen now. And he rises up before you get to shoot. Even you can see him over the pile of swords, Cody. You all have to make poison saves, please. From the visage of fucking steel fear that rises up before you.
Seven out of 10. Nope.
Oh, Sadir failed.
Dream got me shook.
18 out of 12.
You succeed, Cody. You're not
rolled-
overcome by the dragon fear.
I rolled 10 on 10.
That's enough to just barely succeed. So Sadir, unfortunately, you go to draw an arrow to take a shot, right? You had your bow in your hand, I think. But you drop the arrow and you drop your bow and you fall to all fours and begin to vomit uncontrollably. And this is going to last for 4 rounds.
Sorry, guys. Hasta la vista.
Let me make a note here. Fear, 4 rounds. And we'll count this as round 1.
How far from us is the dragon?
About 15 feet away from you. Well, maybe 20 feet away from you because you weren't moving straight towards it like Sadir was. She has now gone down on all fours, almost like, you know this is not the case, her being a dragon, but it's almost like she's bowed down in obeisance before it and just started vomiting up all of her breakfast and possibly last night's dinner and everything else. Her bow is laying on the ground to her left. Her arrow like snaps underneath of her as she hits the ground. And the sound as well, I should describe, as this thing moves. Just imagine you're talking about 150 foot long, 150 foot wingspan made of steel raising itself up. So it makes this horrible screeching and rattling sound. Now, I guess we can roll initiative, except for poor Sadir, who will not have an initiative for a few rounds. So for initiative in Lamentations, you roll a d6, and you get to add your dexterity modifier to it. And the dragon is on 4.
And we don't see any other dragonkin, so the dragon wife would get a +5.
That's true. You would. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, don't forget your +5 and your +1, right? So you're a total
so that's 7.
You're on 7?
Yep.
You rolled a fucking 1.
Yeah.
Well, you're on 7. So how did you do, Cody, on your initiative roll?
7.
Also 7. Nice. So you will both go first. You have a bow in hand, correct, Cody?
I do.
And did you have your sword drawn, Ula, or did you have a
Yeah,
bow?
she had her sword out.
Okay. I'm gonna just let Cody go first since he has a missile weapon.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you want to do, Cody?
He's staring at me.
No, he's actually staring directly at Sadir.
So, I mean, do you get back attacks here or flank attacks, whatever?
There are sneak attacks, yes. And as far as you know, he hasn't noticed you. It's not like 5e where you can get sneak attacks every round. Once you attack something it knows you're there, you're not going to get another sneak attack. But as long as it doesn't know you're attacking it, you can get a sneak attack, yes.
Then I'm going to still try and get around behind it more.
Give me another stealth roll.
Three of 17.
No. I think you have to roll a d6 for
3 of 3.
3 under 3. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, you're able to kind of continue. You duck down out of his range of sight and start moving around this big pile of weapons and weapons and armor and stuff. And he makes so much noise with his rattling steel scales and wings that you don't think you have any trouble sneaking around without being noticed. What would you like to do, Ula?
So you can see Ula's, all her muscles and sinew and everything start to pop from her arms and legs. So she starts to just hulk out. She grits her teeth, and a grim but almost happy look comes over her face as she grips her greatsword and just leaps toward the wing of this creature.
So you're going to try to specifically hit him in the wing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're leaping like 30 feet plus into the air with your dragon wife jump. Go ahead and give me a melee attack roll, please.
Okay, so my attack bonus is gigantic at the moment. So
Good.
So
Good.
that's a 28 total.
That will hit the wing. I guess, given your position, you're going for the right wing, the wing that was closest to you?
Yeah, sure.
I actually am keeping track of hit points for all of his limbs here. So go ahead and give me a damage roll then. So you get your D10 for the greatsword. You get a D12 for being a dragon wife, and you get your bonus against all dragon kin. And that's it. You don't get strength modifiers to damage and lamentations.
Okay.
But you get a D10 and a D12, which is pretty chunky.
Yep. Right. That's a 9 on the
And
total.
you get to attack 3 times too.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you do have 3 attacks. Fuck.
So 13 damage on the first chop anyway.
Okay. You want to make 2 more attacks?
Sure.
Thanks for reminding me of that too, Katie. This is the first time. This is what dragon wives do best.
So that's a 29 and a 33 to hit on the next 2.
Okay, give me damage for all of them then.
Okay.
So 13 on the first one.
18 damage for the second attack.
Whew, total of 31 so far.
And 3 damage on the third attack.
Oh, so 34 total. You put a good chunk of damage into his wing, but you do not cripple it. Oh, so close. On his initiative then, he will launch himself into the air and start flying almost, straight vertically up. Let's see his movement rate. He is able to fly about 60 feet, I'm going to say, up off the ground now. And he lets out a roar. And when he roars, though, it, again, like in Sadir's dream, it sounds like the pleading of humans and women, children, soldiers, the elderly, all pleading in pain, crying in pain and pleading for their lives. This is the sounds of his hundreds, perhaps thousands of victims, all coming in one great cacophony at the same time. So I need all 3 of you to make saves versus magic, please.
Nine of 12.
Nope.
That's
Not
a
me
fail.
either.
That's a fail.
Also a fail. 13 of 14.
All 3 fail. So let me roll a d10 to see how long this will last. There we go. It's going to last 10 rounds. For 10 rounds, you will make all attacks against... just all attacks, period. All attacks for the next 10 rounds will be made at disadvantage, just like in 5e. So you roll 2 dice, and you take the lowest for every attack. Okay. So this is just Katie, and this is Katie, Jeff, and Will. Okay, so that is the end of the first round. We roll initiative for the next round, please. Dragon is on 7.
D6, right?
Yep, d6 plus your dexterity modifier.
5.
How about yourself there, Ula?
12 for Ula.
12, nice. You're fucking booyah plus 7, right? Excellent. So you're first, Ula.
How high up is...
He's 60 feet off the ground. So if you did a straight up jump, you could attack one of his legs or possibly his torso. You won't be able to reach his head or his wings.
Can I jump straight up and try and catch on to him?
Sure, you can. I'll allow that. Let me see. How would I roll that? Let's call it first we'll call it an unarmed melee attack, or it can be even an armed attack. You can try to stab into him with your sword. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Are you
Let's
going for
do this.
torso or leg?
I think leg might be a bit easier. Just swing like a discus and go to launch her sword, only she doesn't let go of it. And she just fucking flies straight up towards the thing.
Nice. Go ahead and give me a roll for that. Then don't forget your disadvantage though. So roll 2
So,
dice and take the lowest plus your.
am I rolling d20 here? Is it
Yep. Just a regular attack.
standard attack? Okay,
Standard melee
so
attack. You're just rolling with
roll
disadvantage.
twice then. So, first one is 27. Second one, oh shit, that's a 1. Now it's plus 14, but still a 1.
Okay, no problem. So it's just an automatic miss. So you
Okay.
launch up like a discus, you go to stick, and you just feel the point graze and make a little nail on chalkboard sound as it scratches against one of his steel scales, and then you fall the 60 feet straight back down to the ground. Now, you're immune to fall damage because
Just
you're a
fair.
dragon wife and there's only a dragon present at the moment. So,
Do I still have two more attacks, or I was thinking maybe
oh,
kind of
you know what?
shoot a
Yeah,
bow.
forget about the falling part. You get 2 more attacks. You can do 2 more attacks to try to get into him. I
Okay,
apologize.
right.
Retcon that. Before you fall to the ground, you scrape across a scale. Second attack.
Okay, second one then. Same deal with disadvantage, yeah. So
Yeah, that's
first
going to
roll
last for 10
19.
rounds.
Does a 19 hit? Second roll was 5.
No.
Okay, so third one, I guess. 2. No, definitely
No.
not.
Nope. You try. So scrape across a scale, and the third one, just misses completely as you're already losing ground. Airball whiff, and you drop back down 60 feet down to the ground below. Big spray of dust and ash and mud now because of last night's rainfall. And next on initiative is Vith Marfadellum, who is going to breathe. So he opens his mouth and breathes, and 12 wyverns fly out of his mouth and begin flying around in the air above you. I need another sheet to keep track of these. 12 wyverns. Now, with the arrival of these wyverns, you lose your dragon-only abilities, so you lose that bonus +5, you lose 1 of your attacks per round, and you lose your 60-foot jump and immunity to fall ability, okay? And he will then fly another 60 feet straight up, so he's now flying 120 feet up off the ground. And it is then Cody's turn. As Sadir continues vomiting for another round. Unable to gather enough strength to pick herself up or pick up her weapon.
Now Cody is going to start shooting at the wyverns.
Okay. You get 1 attack per round. So let's make them count, brother. So roll a d20 plus your missile attack roll. Oh, this is medium range because they're medium range now, so you get a -2 to that attack as well.
So that's a 13, so -2, 11.
Well, did you add your modifiers as well, your previous modifiers?
Yes, I added my range attack bonus.
Right, yeah, so you get 11, so you miss. You shoot at the wyverns, but you miss. You can draw another arrow, mark off that you fired 1 arrow, and you are no longer in surprise attack hidden at all. You're now noticed by the dragon and the wyverns. And we go to the next round. Sadir continues vomiting, but we can roll initiative. I'll roll for the wyverns and for the dragons separately. And don't forget you don't have that booyah +5 anymore. Okay. Wyverns are on 5, dragon is on 3. What'd you guys get? 7 for Ula, and how'd you do, Cody?
7 for me as well.
Okay, I'll let you go first because then you have a bow in your hand.
Going after another wyvern.
Okay.
17, 20. -2, 18.
Still enough to hit. Give me a damage roll. 1d6.
2 points.
Okay, you do 2 points of damage. You wing one, but doesn't do any significant damage. And it is then Ula's turn. What would you do, Ula?
Ula sheath her sword, take out her bow, and try and take down that one that Cody just winged.
Okay, so you get a -2 to the attack because of the fact that you've just drawn the weapon this round, and you also get another -2 because it is medium range. So you get a total of -4 against whatever your normal missile attack is. So go ahead and give me a roll. Don't forget your disadvantage. I hope you rolled with disadvantage too, Jeff. Maybe you forgot, but don't forget in future.
I did.
Okay, I'll let it slide this time.
First one 18, second one is a crit. But it's disadvantage, so I'm taking 18, I guess.
Yeah. So the 18 will hit though, because I assume you still have a positive modifier even with your total -4, yeah? Yeah. Go for it. Give me damage. You shoot the wounded one.
D6 plus D12.
Yeah, you still get your damage bonus. That's
One
helpful.
on the D6 and 3 on the D12, so 4 damage.
Wow, you still don't kill it. Okay.
But I have a second attack still, not a third, but I do have a second.
Yeah, you do have a second attack. That's correct.
Okay, so I'll go for it again. So that would be 13.
That's your total?
Yeah.
Nope, that's not going to hit.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I may move, I would kind of try and move maybe to get a little bit of cover from the mound of kind of broken catapults and armor and all that stuff.
Okay, you're going to try and kind of squeeze in there amongst all that shit. Yeah, no problem. You move closer to that mound. Then the wyverns, it's their turn. They are going to swoop down out of the sky and try to rain death upon the enemies of their master. Let me see here. They're going to split evenly. Seeing as Sadir is seemingly helpless at the moment, 6 of them are going to attack Ula and 6 are going to attack Cody. So they're swooping down out of the sky and coming down and just engaging you in direct melee because they don't have breath weapons or anything. So they're clawing and biting. So first, against Ula, I'll roll 6 attacks. What's your armor class?
13.
Okay. 1, 2. It's 1 hit for 3. Wow. 2 hits for a total of 4 damage. The other 4 all missed you. So they're scraping at you with their claws, nipping at you with their teeth. They're not much bigger than you are, though, so they don't have like super big mouths or anything. They're not the kind of creatures that can like pick you up off the ground or take your whole limb in their mouth or anything of that sort.
And do we take half damage right now because they're dragonkin?
Yes, you do actually. So actually, you only take 2 points of damage. Thanks for reminding me, Katie. I'm so glad you're here.
I've never done this before.
Cody, the first one misses you. The second one hits you. Third one hits you. Fourth one misses. Fifth one misses. And the sixth one also hits you. So the total is 8 plus 7 plus 4. 19 points of damage to Cody from 3 hits.
Ouch.
Jesus Christ. Cody's down to 3 points. Cody's gonna die.
Yeah, Cody is not a dragon wife. Okay, and then it is the dragon's initiative. He will regenerate a little bit again. Okay. His wound on his wing is it's healing slowly but surely. And he is, let's see, his breath weapon has not recharged, so he is going to stay and start to kind of circle around you all, about 120 feet up off the ground at the moment, watching his wyverns do their work against you. Let me just double check, make sure I'm not forgetting any other abilities he has. Nope, that's everything. That's good. Yep, he's happy to do that. He doesn't want to put himself at risk against 2 dragon wives. So this is the last round of retching and vomiting for Sadir. Let's roll another round of initiative. Okay. Wyverns are on 4. Dragon is on 5. How about Ula and Cody?
4 for Ula.
Okay. Now, these wyverns have flown down and have engaged you. You're in melee, essentially, with them. They're still dodging in and out, but they have to get close to you to do their melee attacks. So you can make melee attacks if you want to switch to that, or you can continue with missile attacks. It's your choice.
I got an 8, and I'm going to stick with missile attacks still.
Okay, an 8 is going to miss, unfortunately, there, Cody.
An 8 was my
Initiative.
initiative.
Oh, an 8 was your initiative. I'm sorry. Shit. Yeah, okay. Never mind. What did you get, Ula?
4 for initiative.
Okay, so you're first then, Cody. Go for your attack. Don't forget, you are at disadvantage.
12.
Yeah, that's going to miss. And then next is the dragon. He's going to continue. Let me just check and see. Has his breath weapon recharged? It has not. I should keep track of how many rounds it's been since he used it. This is now the 2nd round since he used it. Okay. And it is now the wyvern's turn. So 6 of them at poor Cody. Well, the first 2 hit for 10 points of damage. I think that's going to do Cody in, yeah? Was that take you to? Jeff?
Yeah, that
Does it take you to -4 or lower?
Yes, unfortunately it does.
The first 2 swing down, slashing at him with their claws. The first one slashes at him with his claws. More blood flies. His leather armor is torn in multiple places, and the second one swoops down and bites him right in the face. And you see his body just kind of go limp as it pulls him along the ground a little bit and lets go, and he falls, blood pouring out of his face as if he's been like hit with multiple nails in the face simultaneously. Cody's bloodied body lies broken on the ground. The other 4 wyverns are not intelligent creatures, really, so they drop down and they start tearing his corpse apart, ripping his limbs off, blood flying everywhere, and eating his flesh. The other 6 against Ula. Wow, those 2 missed. Why couldn't I get those rolls against Cody? What was your armor class again? 13? Yeah, okay, so I got 1 hit for 4. Wow, only 1 hit for 4, but you take half damage, so you take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Only one of them, out of the whole 6 of them swooping around you, managed to get a nick at your shoulder, perhaps, with its hooked claw. And we go into your initiative, actually.
So Ula will drop the bow and quickly take out her greatsword and just start cleaving at these wyverns.
Okay. Remember, you get another -2 modifier for having just drawn the weapon, but otherwise, that's your only negative. So you are still at disadvantage, of course.
First one is 28. Second one is 23.
That's going to hit for sure. So give me some damage there. You get a D10 and a D12, right?
Yep. So that would be 11 damage.
Describe how you kill that first wyvern.
She actually just, for a moment, takes her hand out, or one of her hands off the sword, grabs it by the throat, and then just rams the greatsword through its head, and then just flings it off the end of the sword.
Nice. And you get a second attack, right?
Yep. Do the same.
Go for it.
Oh, it's going to be a miss.
Hope you do the same.
No, it's going to be definitely a miss. But
Okay.
she'll shout out up at. She doesn't know if this dragon can understand her. She say, "What is this, Vit? You send these flies at us while you just walk around the skies. Come down, you fucking coward."
Nice. And we go into the next round. Now,
I finally get to play.
yes, you are no longer paralyzed with vomiting. You're no longer vomiting your guts out. So let's go for initiative, everybody. Well, except for poor Cody, who is actually dead and being eaten by wyverns at the moment. Okay, we've got 7 for Sadir. How about Ula?
They should be happy they got a Texas barbecue then.
5 for Ula, I think is what you said, yeah? Okay, so you are actually first, Sadir. So you come up, finally able to compose yourself, and you look quickly. You see Cody ripped to pieces and being eaten by half a dozen wyverns. And you see Ula standing maybe, 10 feet away from you. Oh, no, she's actually probably more like 15, 20 feet away from you. She went and took a little bit of cover over by that pile of swords. But she's swinging her greatsword and fighting off 5 more wyverns. The dragon is about 120 feet above the ground, just circling this whole little dry patch of land that you're all on.
So I'm looking at the combat options for Lamentations, and parry is usually parrying an attack. So it's basically like instead of attacking,
Parry
taking
in this
defensive.
Yeah, parry in this game means you're just spending the whole round trying to defend yourself.
Okay, no, I'm not doing that.
You
then.
also have
Okay.
the attack offensively or attack defensively. I think it's called press and attack defensively or whatever. If you attack defensively, you get a -2 to your attack, but +4 to your, or sorry, -4 to your attack and +2 to armor class. If you try to press the attack aggressively, you get a +2 to attack and a -4 to armor class.
Okay, I'm just going to
That makes
regularly
sense.
attack. Yeah, no, I've got it. But since I'm at disadvantage, I'm not going to take any minuses to my attack rolls. So she finishes the last of her retching, and she just like wipes her mouth with the back of her hand in like rage. This almost like driven crazy by being incapacitated for so long, and she reaches up and kind of like swirls her lance out and just takes like a running charge at the closest wyvern.
Okay. Yeah, definitely closer to you would be the ones fighting Ula, so go for an attack.
Ooh, 4, 6 is 10. What is their unadjusted AC? I have a bonus specifically to a creature that has an unadjusted AC of 16 or better.
Their unadjusted AC is 16, I believe.
So
Yep.
6, 7.
That's right. Yeah, with the lance, you get that bonus for piercing.
Well, this was something that I got for my level rolls.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So do I get an additional +1 for lance? Yeah, I rolled. My 3 things were that I got a shield bonus to my AC when reverse is only a dragon. I got the dreams, and then I got that my attacks have a +1 to hit for an AC of 16 or better. So if
No. Your third one was you get a +1 to your attack. The one you're talking about is the lance ability.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah,
just make sure we did.
I remember that.
Okay, so let me just make sure that I did my
your math correctly.
My to hit correctly. So it's a 5 base for a fighter, and since I have a strength of a +1, it's a
base.
6.
+1 makes it a 6.
So then plus the lance makes that a 7.
Correct.
So that should be a 7. Okay.
A 7 against creatures with an unadjusted armor class of 16 or higher. Correct.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna leave
It'd be a 6 against other creatures.
But I'm assuming an 11 doesn't hit because their armor class.
It does not hit. No, I'm afraid not.
So
and you are rolling with disadvantage, correct?
Yes, that's why I missed.
Cool. Okay. Yep.
So reeling from this, she's just further enraged and she lashes out again. Nope, 15. So close.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Not making much of myself.
Close, but no cigar. Now, I'm going to roll to see if the other 6 wyverns attack you or if they decide to continue eating Cody. Nope, they're still busy eating. They're getting a free meal over there, so they're going to keep eating. Poor Cody. So he's still helping the party by distracting half a dozen wyverns. So there's only the 5 of them there. 2 of them will attack each of you this round. And then the other one is going to attack Ula. So 3 will attack Ula, 2 will attack Sadir. So Sadir first. What is your armor class?
14.
14.
My dex is a 2.
Okay, so I got 1 hit for 6 points of damage, but you get half that for 3. And for the 3 others that are swooping at Ula, first 2 miss. The third one also misses. They all 3 miss because your armor class is 13, right? Yeah, they all 3 miss Ula. Wow. Fucking useless wyverns. And Vith has still not recovered his breath weapon. So we go to, we can scratch that out. The fear is gone now. We go to the next, oh no, we go to Ula's turn. Sorry, Ula was on 5.
Yeah, so she'll continue chopping and hacking at these wyverns around her. No, first attack will miss. Second attack will also fucking miss. I'm still rolling a disadvantage, yeah?
Correct, for 6 more rounds.
We're on round 5 right now because I was out for 4.
Yes, but that didn't come into effect until the second round.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
He did the scream the round after the fear kicked in.
Sister Sadir, perhaps we need a new plan.
They will only chase us if we run.
So you missed both attacks, Ula?
Yep.
Okay, it's initiative again. Oh, I didn't roll great this time. Vith is on 4, wyverns are on 3.
8 for me. I'm real mad.
Vith has recovered his breath weapon, though.
Is there a natural initiative for a fighter or anything like that? No.
A natural initiative for a fighter. No, it's just your dexterity modifier.
I got a 2.
I don't know why it took me a minute to process that question, but okay. What did you get? I'm sorry, Katie?
8.
8, you're first.
Attacking with the lance again. Nope. 13.
This disadvantage is really killing you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna die. A natural 20 and an 18. At least I hit.
Yep, you did hit. Natural 20 is just an automatic hit anyway. There's no like critical effects, I don't think, in Standard Lamentations.
Okay.
Natural 20 is just automatic hit, and natural 1 is an automatic miss.
11 points of damage total.
Okay, you kill one. You want to go ahead and describe it?
Oh, she's just filled with rage and lust, and she's lashing out, and it's ineffective, and she's looking at everything coming down around her and wondering if her training led up to failure. And the first miss just sent her over the edge into a blinding rage, and she saw an opening as the next one was attacking Ula and missed, and she just runs headlong with the spear and kind of skewers it and uses that to push it down backwards onto the ground, and then rips it back out and kicks the thing just because she's so angry with it.
Nice. Frustration is beginning to show.
Mm-hmm.
Next in initiative is Vith, and Vith has recovered his breath weapon, and he breathes, and 2 more wyverns leave his mouth. Okay. And we go to, what was your initiative? 2? Yeah, so the wyverns are next. Okay. So there's still only 4 at the moment attacking you 2. So it's going to be, they're going to split up evenly again because they keep regrouping and swooping back down. So 2 on each of you. Okay, 1 is going to hit you, Sadir, for 4 points of damage, half that to 2. And they both miss Ula again. I don't know why Ula is so hard to hit, but they just can't hit her. It's because she took cover under that broken catapult. That's why, in the pile of war machines. And then it's your turn, Ula. Before we go to the next initiative, next round.
Ula starts swinging wildly, and she'll use that attack style you mentioned, where you can gain points on your attack but lose your AC or something.
Cool, you press. So you lose 4 points of AC. It brings your armor class down to a 9, but you get a +2 to your attack roll.
Yeah, cool. First one will be a 21 to hit. Second one will be a, let's see, 20 to hit.
Okay, those were both at disadvantage, yeah? So
yep.
2 hits. Give me damage for the first one.
First one is 18 damage.
Dead.
Second one is 13 damage.
Both dead.
She quickly, just picks up one of the creatures and starts drenching herself in its blood.
Nice. So Ula decides to press the attack. She hacks down 2 of them quickly and rains blood down upon her. She's now standing there naked and just covered in this wyvern blood. Probably still have your mask around your face, I suppose, to protect from the... Oh, geez, yeah, that mask wrapped around your face would be covered in vomit. Did you keep it on or did you tear it off, Katie?
Oh, yeah, after the first retch, it was...
Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, you're both standing there naked. Now, one of you is covered in wyvern blood. The other one is still partially covered in her own vomit. But I'll move to the next round initiative. Okay. Dragon is on 6. Wyverns are on 4. These stupid wyverns over here are still just eating. They're going to eat until there's nothing left of old Cody, it looks like. They're stripping his weapons away from him now and tossing them aside for their master to collect as they pick and crack his bones and start eating the marrow out of him. And you guys are both on 6. So you guys, I'll let you guys go first because Vith is going to, yeah, he doesn't recover his breath weapon. He's going to continue flying around in circles.
I think I have a higher deck, so I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
So seeing her sister cut 2 of them down, she is heartened in battle that the tides are turning.
Yeah, at the moment you only have 2 more engaged with you. There are 2 more up with Vith and then 6 over on poor Cody.
So, yeah. The first one's a 22. And
that's going to definitely hit.
The second one, 6 plus 7. Nah, there's no way.
Nope, 13 is not going to do it. But the first one's a hit.
So she sees one next to her, and she stabs it with the lance. Well, it's not next to her. It's at least 10 feet away, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it's flying around. They have to keep moving for position to swoop in and attack you.
8 points of damage.
That'll kill it.
So she lunges into it and lifts it off the ground and throws its body, spraying blood out in like an arc as she kind of does a spin motion to come back around, ready for the next attack.
Very good. And the last remaining one is there still. Cody swinging in for attack. Not Cody. Ula. Sorry. Rest in peace. You can attack it if you like.
I think he said he needs to step away for a few seconds. So
did he? Okay, we'll have to wait for him to come back then.
I was hoping that both of mine would hit and I could take up time with the description.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll wait for him. He's back. Cool. No problem. Oh, you lost your connection. Cool. You're in a different room.
Yeah.
All right. It's your turn. There's one left in melee with you at the moment.
I got it with the same reckless attack, or what it was called, pressing attack.
Go for it.
First will be a miss. Second one will be a miss. She drank too much of that. She bathed in too much wyvern blood, and
I guess so.
Her eyes.
Okay. And then it is the wyvern's turn. That one wyvern that is still in melee with you. The other 6 are still eating Cody, cracking his bones now and drinking what blood is. They're lapping his blood up off the ground and eating the marrow from his bones. This one wyvern attacks you, Ula, and misses horribly. The other two swoop down from where they were flying with Vith and will engage the two of you, one on each of you. They're going to hit both of you, but they're only going to do 1 point of damage.
Did they roll a 1 or did they roll a 2?
It's a 1, but it's still 1.
But is it halved to nothing?
It's halved to half, which is rounded up to 1.
Oh, okay. Darn. I tried to lawyer that, didn't I?
You tried, but a hit always does at least 1 point of damage. Yep. Nice try. I admire your effort. And that is the end of that round of initiative. So now you have, again, 3 engaged with you, and there's still 6 over at poor Cody.
How far away are they from us? Because he was only, what, 20 feet away from the dragon?
No, he was over on the other side of that pile. So they are on the other side of this pile of swords and weapons from you, which is probably about 40 feet straight across, but you'd have to go up and over the pile, which could have dangers of its own, or go around the pile. So it's going to be more like 60 feet.
Okay. So since I dropped, since I dropped you said I dropped my bow next to me when I started retching.
You did. It's still lying in the ground near your vomit pile.
Yeah. So I'm assuming I also dropped the saddlebag too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I presumed you just dropped anything that was in your hands.
Yeah. And then, so is the backpack still on? What would it take to take that off?
A free action. No, you can just drop it. In fact, I would kind of probably assume that you did when you charged into battle.
Okay, good. I was kind of hoping because I've seen that's what you do.
Yep, that's fine. So, initiative. Wyverns are on 6 this time.
4 for Ula.
Okay.
I'm used to putting it in the common 7 for me.
Okay, so first is you, Sadir.
And how many are engaged with us currently?
3 with you.
Okay. 12 plus 7. Yeah, 19 for the first one.
Okay.
Disadvantage.
Give me some damage.
And I rolled 2 12s in the second one, so another 19. So I attacked twice and actually hit twice.
Hit twice. You might get 2 kills here.
So for the first one, as she completes the arc of her swing, it just coincides perfectly that she's able to lunge out again at a second one. Ooh, 19 damage.
Yeah, that's definitely dead.
Spearing it, and 17 damage to the second one. So
also dead.
She stabs the first one into her spear, and she runs it through a little bit, and she uses that to take the body of the first one and smash the second one with it, and then jabs the spear through the both of them.
Nicely done. And Ula, it is your turn.
How many? Sorry, is there still 1 on Ula, or is there 2 on Ula, or what's the correct there?
There is only 1 at the moment, and then there's 6 more over, shredding Cody's crumbs.
Okay. Yeah, she shall continue to hack and slash. First attack is 14.
That does not. You might bounce off its scales, but you don't pierce it.
Okay. Second attack is 17.
That will hit. That'll strike home.
20 damage.
Dead for sure. Oh, and you can also move, of course. Did you want to move as well after your attack, I presume, Sadir, to make your way around to the other 6, I presume?
Yeah, I'm not going to run over the thing. I'm definitely going to run around.
Yeah, sure. You get halfway there.
I'll move over towards those feeding wyverns as well.
So now you're both kind of flanking around in between these two. Well, no, there's only 1 mound here now. You're flanking around the right side of this mound now towards the...
If you don't mind, I'll pick up the bow before I do that. Just throw it over my back. I had dropped it at one point.
Yeah, you can just grab it and sling it over your back as you're moving. That's fine.
Can I also do that?
Your bow is in the other direction. You'll have to go the other way to do that.
Oh, how far did I move to get to...
About 20 feet to get over to here. So if you go over to get your bow, you're then 80 feet away.
Never mind. I'm leaving mine.
Okay.
I didn't realize how far away
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because you were over by the other pile, which turned out to be the dragon. Now, the dragon did not recover his breath weapon this turn. The wyverns did not. Yeah, they were still picking away Cody. So we're over to another round. You guys only have 2 more rounds of disadvantage. Does he get his breath weapon back? He does.
5 initiative.
5 on initiative. Okay. And how did you do there, mate? Will?
Ula's on 5 as well.
You're both on 5. Okay, wyverns are on 6. Let me see if they notice you coming. They fucking don't. These dumbass wyverns. They're still just so... Man, you must taste really good, Cody. They like southern food. They are picking away, getting them some soul food. Now, as such, none of the wyverns can make attacks against you this round. So I'll go to you first, Ula.
If Ula can make it over to the wyverns this turn,
you can engage them.
Is there? I think we were talking about surprise attacks earlier. I can't remember what you said. Or
that's only yeah. If you're not a specialist though, you don't have points, so you don't get any bonus to damage. You can get a +2 to attack though. I'll give you a +2 to attack.
She's going to press as well anyway.
These fucking things have rolled so poorly on their fucking whatever you want to call this roll. I'm making their reaction roll that. Yeah.
First attack miss. Second attack is a 20.
Yeah, that'll hit. Give me some damage.
10 damage.
10 damage. That's a dead wyvern. So he's sitting there gobbling up part of one of Cody's legs. It's almost nothing but bone left there and a boot. It's gulping it down as you run up and kill it with your great sword. Hack its head off. Blood fountain sprays everywhere. And we go to Sadir.
All right, attacking, regular attack. It's 9 plus 7, 16. Ooh, 16.
Nice, that's a hit. Dead on. Perfect hit. Exactly what you need to hit, I should say.
Yeah. The second one is a miss. Oh, it's a 9. Okay. So 1 takes 13 damage.
Dead. Kill one of them wyverns as well. There's only 4 of them remaining. However, it is now Vith's turn, and he is going to, since he has recovered his breath weapon again, he is going to breathe out more wyverns. So you need to kill these wyverns faster. He breathes out 5 more wyverns. Getting tired yet?
I'm getting angry, not tired.
Okay. And the wyverns already had their initiative, so we're to another round of initiative. So scratch that off. His breath weapon reset starts again. So far, both times it's taken him 4 rounds to recover his breath weapon. Oh,
3 initiative.
I'm sorry. He only breathes 4 wyverns, because I had made a rule before that he can only recover 1 wyvern per round for breath weapons. So nice. I take it back. I take away one of those wyverns. He breathed out 4 wyverns. I forgot about my own rule on this. I was trying to figure out how a breath weapon that actually creates more creatures would work, and I was trying to... Okay, so how'd you do on initiatives?
4.
Holy shit.
3, abysmal. That's as low as I can go.
Okay, and I rolled 7 for both of the groups of mobs. He has not recovered his breath weapon, so he does nothing but stays up above. Now we have 1, 2, 3. We have a total of 8 wyverns now, again, since he just created 4 more. So there's going to be 4 of them kind of coming at each of you. They're all aware of you now. They stop eating what little remains of what bits of strips of meat remain on Cody's poor bones. And here we go. This is your second to last round with disadvantage as well. Okay, miss. 3 misses and 1 hit. So one of them manages to get a claw in on you there, Ula, for 5 points of damage. Cut that in half, you take 3. And then the 4 attacking Sadir. What's your armor class, Sadir?
14.
Got 1 hit for 3 damage and another hit for 3 damage. So they do 2 damage each. 2 hits for 2 damage each. So 4 total. from 2 hits as the 4 wyverns are swooping around you. So you both have 4 wyverns hovering around you, swooping in, nipping, scratching, clawing. Vith continues to circle around. Maybe you can almost imagine him chuckling at the chaos down below as he just relaxes up there and watches his wyvern slowly pick at you. Oh, let me roll his regeneration because I almost always forget about that. There we go. Okay. Now, which of you had the higher initiative? I think it was Ula.
Yeah, Ula.
What do you like to do, Ula?
Ula will say, "Sister, I think this is pointless. He will just send more and more. Perhaps if we mess with his treasure, he will come down."
It's worth a shot.
But perhaps we should first kill these wyverns and then kill the treasure.
Okay. So you're going to attack the wyverns, Ula?
Yeah, so we're going to try and make an opening by getting rid of the wyverns first and then maybe trying to mess with the...
So are you doing standard attack, press attack, or...
Press attack.
Okay.
First one was a miss. Second one is a... No, it's a miss. Jesus.
Damn. Okay.
And if instead of
a mess with the pile. Kidding.
am I beside that pile of stuff still, or just away?
Yeah, you're very close to it.
I'll kick something instead of moving. Just like kick something away.
Okay.
Shiny helmet.
You kick a shiny helmet across into the bog. Splash.
Yeah.
And it goes to Sadir.
Okay, regular attacks. 13 plus 7 is a 20. No. Okay, so 1 attack makes it.
Okay, give me some damage, please. I need to look at something here about this dragon.
2.
2 points of damage?
Yes.
Wow.
A 1 on a d10 and a 1 on a d12.
Wow, that's terrible. Okay, yeah, you nick it, but it's fine. Unfortunately. Okay. And we go to the next round. And this is your last round at disadvantage, guys. So maybe after this 10th round, you can really get some good hits in. Hopefully. Okay.
7 for me.
7 for you. Okay. And how did you do there, Will?
3 for Ula. 3 for Ula.
Okay. I'll let you go first, Sadir.
All right. I'm picking 2 new dice. Nope, miss. Oh, another 20 and an 18. Okay, so 1 hits again. I'm attacking the same one that I barely damaged before because now it's personal.
Right. He's embarrassed you.
15 damage.
Oh, yeah, you kill him.
And I really like this tactic she has of like spearing them and chunking them. And so I'm just, she's been kind of like battling. Yeah, she's kind of been like battling this one and it's been eluding her. And so she kind of takes a step back and she butts it in the head with the blunt end of the spear and flips it and stabs it and then uses the like back momentum to toss it into the pile maybe, or try to.
This is like Dragon Wife feng shui here.
Yeah, I told you when we made her, I was like, oh, this is going to be a monk all of a sudden. She's going to have like a quarterstaff with us.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. You can toss it into the pile and some more of the items kind of fall and tumble down around.
And hopefully he bleeds on it and maybe that kind of disturbs the dragon a little bit. His quarry is tainted with wyvern blood.
He's disturbed. He's annoyed you're fucking with his treasure pile, for sure. And it is the wyvern's turn, so I will roll their actions. There are still 7 of them remaining. You just killed one, so I'm going to say there's 3 on you, Katie, and 4 on Ula. So 3 against Sadir. 1 hit for 4, and sorry, just that. Yeah, 1 hit for 4, so you only take 2 damage. And the 4 against Ula. What's your armor class though? Currently 11, right? Or no, it's a 9 because you press attacked, yeah? Right, so there's 1 hit for 1. And 2 more hits for 4 and 1 respectively. So you take 1, 1, and 4, a total of 6 points of damage. I got max damage on one of those.
Is that 4 halved? Oh no, it's not. That 4 was already
No,
halved.
that's the total. That's after I've halved everything. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm just having them automatically if I, when I give you a total, it's halved. So now Vith is kind of pissed off. Odd or even? Even. Vith comes swooping down straight at Ula, who kicked his nice shiny helmet into the bog. Vith gets 2 attacks. He is going to go for a claw and bite attack. So the claw attack. I get my damage dice here. Wow, I rolled a 1. He completely misses the claw attack as he crashes into the ground, knocking you both, separating the two of you. So one of you goes in front of him, that would be Ula, and one of you flies behind him, that would be Sadir, as he lands between you clumsily, and makes his bite attack. Head flailing up, trying to bite at Ula. That's going to hit, and that's going to do 3 points of damage. It's already halved. And he's now on the ground in between the two of you, trying to rise back up to his feet after his clumsy landing. And I already did the wyverns, so it's Ula's turn.
Nice of you to join us, Vit. And she's going to try and finish off these wyverns. She needs her sweet buffs.
Okay. There are currently still, well, there's 7 total, but there's 3 near you.
Are we still on disadvantage at the moment?
You are. This is the last round at disadvantage.
So 16.
16 hits. Yep.
Okay, sweet. So that would be 9 damage on the first attack.
That's going to kill one of them.
Keep it going. 16 again.
Damage.
14 damage.
You kill 2 of them. There's only 1 left on your side of Vith at the moment.
And I suppose try and put the mound a bit further between Vith and myself for the moment.
Okay, you start to move around away from him now. So you're moving back around the kind of left side of the mound, whereas Sadir's over on the right side of the mound. And I'll just track his regeneration again. Okay, very good. And that is the end of that round, so roll initiative. I've already rolled my initiative for the next round. You still have 4 wyverns near you, Sadir. Only 1 on your side at the moment there, Vith.
Didn't I kill 1? I thought I had 3. Oh, 3 was on his side, though.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 initiative for me.
I might have screwed that up, but oops. 7 initiative for you.
5 for Ula. I did think it was 3 over with Sadir, to be honest.
Was it?
Thought so. Well, I could be wrong. I don't know.
No, you're probably right, actually, because I think she killed when you didn't that last round, right? Okay, in that case, then I'll say there are 2 on your side, Ula, and 3 on Sadir's side, to be in the interest of fairness. And you guys have initiative, so I think 7 was higher. So you're first, Sadir.
Okay.
You've got 3 wyverns on your side still attacking you. You've got Vith's ass and tail, like right in your face, practically. You're in a perfect place for a tail bash if he decides to do one.
Yeah, is an opportunity attack a thing in Lamentations? I always forget.
No.
So I can just like hit them and run 40 feet back. How long is his tail?
Well, he is 150 feet long from nose to tail.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that's pointless. Okay.
So his tail is probably about 70, 75 feet of that nearly.
No, we're not at disadvantage anymore, right?
You're not.
Oh, nice. So that's actually a 19.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me some damage.
Oh, and the second one I rolled a 19, so that one definitely hits too. Okay, so the first one, 13 damage. Second one's only 4. No.
That's just a winged one.
Yeah.
It drops down to the ground, its wing crippled, and it just starts running around on its feet, still trying to bite at you. It's your turn, Ula. You have 2 wyverns on your side, and you have Vith's angry maw in your face. Oh, you started to move away from him, but he's going to probably pursue you.
Yeah, go for the wyverns once more.
Go for it.
17 first hit, and 19 for the second hit.
2 hits.
2 hits. Damage on the first is 12. Damage on the second is 9.
Both killed. You killed both of them. 2 slashes of the greatsword, 2 more wyverns drop, and you just have Vith's angry face about 30 feet away from you. Do you move? Stand your ground?
Yeah, I'll keep circling the mound away from him just to make it a bit more awkward for him to get me.
You move another 30 feet away from him.
Yeah.
He does not recover his breath weapon this round. So, the wyverns are on first initiative, though. There's 2 of them still fighting Sadir. So, Sadir, 2 wyverns, 1 on the ground, no longer able to fly after you winged him. The one on the ground misses you. It comes up and nips forward, but you're able to kind of keep him away with your lance. The other one, however, flies over and nicks you in the side of the head for 1 point of damage. Blood trickling down over your eye. And then it's Vith's turn. He moves twice as fast as a human, so he's able to close the 60-foot distance, no problem. And here, I'll do this for his attacks. Let me just double check my dice. Yep, that's correct. Claw attack and a bite attack on Ula. All right, the claw is definitely going to hit for 9 points of damage. You can half that to 5. The bite, what's your armor class? Did you press attack that turn?
Well, I didn't say.
It's going to hit you anyway. I got a 20.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Okay.
20 modified. So yeah, it's going to hit you for 3 points of damage. You can half that to 2. So you take a total of 7 points of damage. 5 from the claws and 2 from the bite. And that's the round. So it's initiative again. Oh, I'll roll his regeneration. Okay. His wing is still wounded, surprisingly. It's been regenerating slowly. But it's less than half wounded as it was before. 5 initiative for Sadir. What'd you get, Ula?
2 for Ula.
2 for Ula. You're first, Sadir.
Okay. Oh, right, not disadvantage anymore.
So
okay.
The dragon is moving away from you as it's pursuing Ula around the treasure mound. You still have 1 wyvern on the ground in your face and 1 flying around your head that just gave you that cut.
Yep. Ooh, so the one on the ground that's still in my face, 16 is on the die, so plus 7, yeah, 23.
Okay, you're going to hit him.
Yep, and then the other one in the air, natural 20.
Okay, that's an automatic hit.
Hit. Yep.
So give me damage for both hits.
So the first one, I disabled the first wing, and 20 damage.
It's fucking dead.
I gore him, pull the lance out, like swing and use the momentum to kind of like swing in the air, trying to like cut through the other one's gut.
Okay.
Then I roll 3 damage. Why? I could have given us the bonuses. Oh, so bad.
You cut it. It's bleeding. It's the last remaining wyvern at the moment, but it's still alive. And Vith did not recover his breath weapon that round.
I'm so mad.
And we move to initiative-wise. It would be the wyvern attacks you. The only last remaining one, it's bleeding from its gut, but it's still alive. It swoops down at your head and hits you for 3 points of damage. Reduce that to 2. Gives you another cut on the top of your head with its claws. And Vith is going to again do the same pattern of attacks that he did last round. He's going to try to claw down, trying to pin Ula to the ground and trying to bite at her. The claw attack misses. Oh, wait a minute. He has plus 10 to hit. It's a 15. That actually hits, right?
Yeah.
No, he hits. Sorry. Claw hits you for a reduced damage of 4. And the bite hits you for also 4. And
worse for wear. She is ripped to shreds.
she's bleeding a lot, yeah. Okay, it's your turn, Ula.
Are you able to delay actions, or like? Sorry, oh no, I'm the last to go in this
You're
round.
the last to go in this round, yeah. So,
like, am I in melee range with the dragon?
yeah, it just clawed and bit you.
I'll try and get in under it and go at that wing again, if that's possible.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give you a chance to try to kind of climb up and slash at the wing. I tell you what,
Yeah.
you get 2 attacks around, right?
Yeah.
If you want to go at that wing, here's what I'll say. Because it is 30 feet up, it's fucking huge ass dragon.
Yeah.
I'll let you make. How do I want to determine that? I'll let you make a dexterity roll to try to get leverage, to try to like kind of basically climb up onto him.
Okay.
If you make that dexterity roll, then I'll let you make an attack roll at the wing.
Am I rolling a d20 for this, am I?
Yep, you want to roll equal to or under your dexterity.
So I rolled 11, and I think my dex is 14.
So what I'll say, for dramatic purposes, you kind of run up along the treasure pile a little bit and leap onto it and run across its back and go to attack that right wing again.
Yep.
Go
Sweet.
for it. So you get 1 attack.
Okay.
Basically used 1 attack to make the advantage.
It is a 15.
Were you rolling a disadvantage or is that just what you rolled?
I rolled a 6 and I'm adding +9. So.
Unfortunately, yeah. You try and it just bounces off of the steel scales.
I hardly landed on his wing, did I?
Landed up on his back, basically, yeah.
Am I still there?
Yeah, if you want to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Cool. Next round. Initiative.
8. She's mad.
5 for roulette.
Okay, so you're first there, Sadir. 1 remaining wyvern.
Man, I'm just gonna this wyvern.
Almost like hovering at your head and just constantly clawing at your scalp.
I missed it on the first attack because that was a 2 on the dice.
Damn.
And then 8 plus. Oh my god, that's not going to be enough, is it? Wait, I get it. No, it's 7. 8 and 7 is 15. 15.
15. Yeah. Wow, you miss.
I'm so mad.
The last wyvern too. This would have helped you guys so much.
I know.
That wyvern gets another attack at you. 14. That's going to miss you, right?
My armor class is 14.
Oh, it does hit you then. For max damage, which reduces down to 4.
If he's flying, it doesn't like. It's not like it counts like a missile or anything, right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Nice try though.
You
Fair
said
enough.
reduced to 4, so 4 damage.
Yeah, 4 damage total. I rolled 8 on the die, and then it is your turn next, Ula. You go before the dragon.
And from kind of atop the dragon's back, can she see the wyvern pestering Sadir?
No, because you're on almost the opposite side of the mound from it at the moment.
I
guess you could kind of, because you could see over the mound. Yeah, you could. You could see it. Yep, I'm sorry. I forgot about how tall the mound was compared to the dragon.
Just going to try a cheeky longbow shot. Flip out the longbow.
Okay, don't forget your -2 to attack.
Yeah. I presume there's no kind of pressing thing with longbows or anything, is there?
No, it's for melee only.
Yeah.
You can't attack offensively or defensively.
It was a 13.
That's total?
Yep. Can I fire a second arrow as well?
Yeah, you get 2 attacks. Yeah.
Yep. I shall try once more.
Yeah, because that 20 health would be good for us, even if we can't attack again.
Which is a 16.
That's exactly what you need to hit.
Uh-oh.
Give me damage. It has
I
5
roll
hit
a d12 as well. Thank you.
Yeah, it has 5 hit points.
Okay, I rolled 6 total.
You kill it. That longbow shot. Describe that fucking beautiful second shot. Your first shot misses. Draw again.
And I can see Sadir like stabbing at it, and just as Sadir's about to get it, I get it just before, and I can see the look of annoyance that she wasn't the one to finish this wyvern. But This might be a bit cheeky now, but now that that's dead, do I get a third attack?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So she will once again throw the bow, whip out the long sword, and try and jam it straight down into the dragon's back, I guess.
Into its torso? Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Don't forget your extra +5 to hit.
So yeah, we're in berserker mode now.
Yep, you're in full-on dragon-only mode. The only thing left at the moment is this dragon.
Dude, I just rolled a fucking crit.
Okay, that's a hit. Give me some damage.
If you recall, I have a special ability.
Oh, shit!
Oh my god, does it automatically die?
You do! If he rolls a natural 20 against a dragon, it kills it, right? Isn't that what it said? I want to look up the exact words.
Kills in one, I think, is what I wrote down on the
I think
note.
so, yeah. I just want to double check exact wording, but yeah, I think you just killed it. Let me see here. That was 99 on the chart. The dragon exists in... No, that's the dragon chart. I need the dragon wife chart. Here we go. 99. If you roll a crit 20 against a dragon, you kill it, no matter how many hit points it has left. So you're going to essentially, you're going to kill this dragon. You can go ahead and describe that. Now, you know as a dragon wife that once you've disabled the dragon, you also have to get in and destroy its heart to kill it completely. So go ahead and narrate it for me.
So as soon as that second arrow landed and killed the wyvern, Ula could feel the power flowing back into her hands. Her shoulders got bigger, her muscles bulged, and she just got the hilt of the sword and drove it straight down as far as she could and as forcefully as she could into the dragon's spine. And the spine just shattered immediately, caving in a little hole, in fact, underneath the massive greatsword. After that,
and Vith just like collapses down onto the ground with a heavy thud. You hear it from the other side of the mound and feel the ground even shake, Sadir. And you're now on top of this thing, and it's collapsed to the ground, and your sword is buried. Like, your sword's probably 6 feet. No, actually, sorry, this is a dragon wife greatsword. It's probably 8 feet long. And you've buried it about 10 feet into this thing's back. And you're standing in the soft tissue as the scales have kind of split up. And even now, as it's died, you can feel it, like it's gone soft underneath of you. And you know the heart is in there somewhere. You have to destroy the heart. So, next round, you're already on top of it. I say I'd take a round for Sadir to run around over to you. So what do you do the next round? And I'll roll his regeneration.
I suppose she would. Do you still have the bonus or not?
Yeah, you do.
It's
basically at this point it's disabled, but it's not completely dead. You got to destroy the heart to kill it. You're about 10 feet into its back right now.
Yeah. I mean, the fastest way to any point is a straight line. So she's just going to whack her way through the fucking body towards the heart.
Okay, give me 2 damage rolls, please. I've set a number.
Okay. First one, 15. Second one is 14.
Okay, you're hacking away into it.
Don't you get 3 attacks?
You do get 3 attacks. Yeah, give me a third attack. Shit, that's good. Good call.
Third attack, 18. You're
just slashing into the back of this thing, cutting it. It's spreading open. It's like it's opening underneath of you, like a wanton woman. And you just hacking into it. As it spreads open, you see the heart there beating slowly. This black. You ever hold a pint of Guinness up to a lamp?
Yeah, slightly.
You know how
red.
It's actually slightly red, but it looks black normally. But that's what it looks like. That's the color of it. It's the color of Guinness. As you hack your way in, you see that heart. So go ahead and describe to me how you destroy it.
She probably doesn't have much space to like swing the sword. So just be hacking. So I'd say it's.
Well, you've been going up and overhead swings, I imagine. Yeah.
Well, I think at this point she's like holding the claymore almost like a shovel, and she just drives it straight into the heart. It's stuck there, and then she just goes back, grabs the hilt, and just pushing it up, and the whole thing just carves open, and ichor just starts pouring out and flooding up to her knees, and
You are in a fountain of black dragon blood.
she shouts out, "Sister, come and bathe with me."
Vith's head rises up, and it lets out one last scream. Its roar of that the final wailing of all of the victims it has slain. You hear 1,000 human voices crying out in various forms of pain and fear and terror, and then its neck and head slam down to the ground with a sickening snap as the body just goes completely limp, blood showering all over you. What are you doing, Sadir? As you're running around as this is happening.
I was hoping that I could. Okay, so she starts running around and she's seeing her sister hack into the beast, and she pole vaults, like digs the end of the lance into the ground and jumps her 60 feet and pole vaults onto the thing's back, and then moves as close as I can, pole vaulting 60 feet towards the heart to come bathe in the blood.
Yeah, you can dive right in there with her.
Yeah.
Cut her way down to it, so you can just jump straight down in. And
just like picking up handfuls of it and mixing it with my own and smearing the blood together down.
How long are you guys going to bathe in the blood of this thing?
Until it's cold.
Okay.
Nice.
About 24 seconds later. It's not cold, for sure. You're still bathing in the blood. You're just awash with it. Yeah. You remember, what was that movie called? Was it Firestarter? No. What was the movie? Not Firestarter. What was the goddamn Stephen King movie with,
what
Carrie?
happens in it?
Is it Carrie?
Oh yeah, Carrie. Yeah.
The pig's blood?
Pig's blood? That's what
Yeah.
you guys look like in Dragon's Blood. Jesus Christ, I don't know why I couldn't remember that shit. But now, like 4 rounds after having split the heart, you sense a presence of Dragonkin. And you can see movement in the fatty and muscle tissue around you. And you can hear the scales of the dragon rusting and falling away as it's just going to be left this big meaty blob. But you also hear puncture sounds as something seems to be leaping out of its skin above you.
There.
It was a girl and it's pregnant.
Our job is not yet done. Let us return to bathing later.
Yes. Do we still feel strong?
You don't feel dragon strong. You feel
Okay.
Dragonkin strong. So you just have that first 3 abilities.
Okay.
What
And
were
do
they?
we-
It's the plus. You get 1 bonus attack. You get the plus D12 damage, and you get a half damage from Dragonkin.
Can we see where it's clawing out?
Well, what are you doing? You don't see anything from here. Are you going to
Climb out.
Yeah, climb out.
start climbing up? It'll take you probably a couple of rounds to climb up. So as you're climbing up, you see figures start to appear above you at the aperture of the back, where you've cut your way in. And you see kobolds standing there looking down upon you. They're half reptilian, sort of dog-like snouts looking down and like barking and yapping at you down below. Their sharp pointed claws, their fangs showing, their bloodlust in their eyes. You've killed their mother, and now they plan to avenge her. Roll initiative. Kobolds are on 7.
8.
7 for Ula.
Okay. You have initiative. What would you like to do, Sadir?
How long is my lance?
Oh, by the way, don't forget to subtract those extra 20 hit points, just in case that drops you below 0. I don't know, but
Mm-mm.
no, okay,
I
good.
still have 24.
How long is your
currently.
lance?
Yeah. A regular one's 10.
Normal lance is 10 feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yours then is probably more like 13 to 15 feet.
I guess.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't it?
That's just right.
We took them down in there with us, I assume. I pole vaulted right in. Or
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, you never said you didn't. I assume you dragged it down with you.
Can I hit one from where I'm at?
Yeah, you can kind of like climbing up amongst the gore and swing
Like
at one.
plant one foot on one side of the innards and plant one foot on the other side of the innards and stab up.
Yeah, go for it.
12 plus 7, 19.
This is a first. I've never had a battle inside of a dragon's corpse. That's going to hit. Give me some damage.
Ooh, 6 plus 7. What's their unadjusted AC?
14.
Okay, I don't get the extra bonus. So 12 on the second one.
Okay. Yep.
That one hits too?
Oh, no, 12 does not hit. Sorry.
Okay. So stab the first one for 16 points of damage.
16 points. You kill him.
And I lunge upward, and as it pierces its skull, I jerk to the side and rip its mouth open, spilling blood out on the one next to it.
Nicely done. What are you doing, Ula?
Ula will just courageously, maybe stupidly, just keep trying to get up out of this thing. And as soon as one is in reach, she'll let go, let swing with the greatsword.
Yeah, you can climb up. I'd say you move like half your movement. Essentially, you can climb up about 15 feet. At which point, yeah, you could get one at the tip of your sword probably, so you can make an attack. You get 2 attacks technically.
Okay, so first attack is 26. Second attack is 21.
Give me some damage.
Damage. First attack is 14. Second attack is 10.
Both dead. 2 kills.
Nice.
After you kill those 2, you're still like halfway up the dragon corpse, as is actually Sadir kind of beside you. You're both like halfway up between where the heart cavity was, the chest cavity, and the aperture that you cut open at the top. And you see more of these things piling up around top to where you see about 12 of them now there above you. Now I have to decide how many of them can fit in here. I'm going to say that 2 each can get at you, basically, if they're diving in on top of you, which is what's going to happen. They're going to dive in and try to attack you with their claws and teeth. Let's see, it's this and this. So first, the 2 against Sadir, throwing themselves bodily at you. What's your armor class, Sadir? No dragon bonus, but you do, you know.
14.
This is dragonkin. So 14, that's 1 hit for 2 points of damage once it's halved. And 2 on Ula. Fucking both miss.
Yeah.
Same old story.
Ula is fucking lucky.
Yeah. And then we get to the next round initiative. I think if Ula wasn't lucky, she would have probably died fighting the dragon. So
Free for
for
Ula.
me. Oh, me too. We're just doing this.
3?
We're in this together.
Okay,
Yeah.
the kobolds will go
Literally.
first. So 2 more attacks on Sadir. That's 1 hit for 3 points of damage when it's halved. And 2 attacking Ula. See if I have any better luck. 1 hit for 2 points of damage once halved. So you have 4 of them, 2 of them on top of each of you, and there's 8 more up there above just waiting for their chance to dive in. Which one do you want to go first?
You can go ahead.
All right. So just keep hacking at these little kobold fuckers. First one is going to be a miss. Second one is 27.
Okay. Go ahead and give me some damage.
11 damage.
Oh yeah, you kill one of them. Kind of push its body down below and step up onto it so that you can not be buried underneath it, I presume. And Sadir?
I'm assuming since I have this 13 to 15 foot lance, there's no way within the confines of the body to be able to like attack the ones in front of me. So I'm just going to keep stabbing at the ones at the entrance.
Okay. Sure.
Just kind of like ignoring them as they're scratching at me.
Go for it.
Continuing to kill the ones above.
Go for it.
13.
Nope.
Taking a different die. Oh, that's better. 17.
17. Okay, give me some damage on that one.
13 points of damage.
That's a dead kobold. So you kill one of the ones up above, one of the ones waiting for his opportunity to drop in. In fact, he was just about to drop in to replace the one that Ula killed. Another one will have to take his place instead, though. But they had their initiative already, so we're to the next round. Roll initiative.
Six.
Okay.
5 for Ula.
5 for Ula. Okay, so the kobolds will go first. Another one drops down on Ula. So now 2 again. That's going to be... What's your armor class, Ula?
13.
2 hits for 2 and 3 damage respectively. So 5 total. That is halved already. And the 2 on Sadir both miss. And it's your turn on initiative, Sadir. So there are still, now there's 2 down here with you, there are still half a dozen of them up above on the edge.
Okay.
Looking down at the dragon's back.
Yeah, stabbing back up there again. Nope.
No,
That's
okay.
a 10. Why?
Second attack.
18. 18. That hits.
That does hit. Give me some damage.
10.
10 will kill him. Yep.
Oh, thank God. Just
Now there's only
stabbing.
5 up above. And 4 in here with you in the cavity. Okay, and Ula.
Ula swings, but you can see that her swings don't have the same strength they once had. First attack is 18. Second attack is 16.
18 and 16?
Yep.
That's going to be 2 hits. I forgot to change my image earlier for the kobolds. I thought you'd be fighting them in the bog. I didn't have an image for you fighting them inside the dragon. But
first damage is 6. Second damage is 14.
okay, so you kill one of them. And yeah, they had initiative there, so we go to initiative for the next round.
I should also just say to Sadir, I think I am near the end. I believe you will make it through this. So when you bathe for both of us.
If you need to, stand behind me.
Kind of hard to do inside the chest cavity of a dead dragon when your enemies are attacking you from above. But nice try. I have 7 on initiative. How'd you guys do?
6 for me.
6 for me too.
Okay.
And we will
Wins
both burn
again.
together.
2 on Ula. Both miss. 2 on Sadir. 1 hits for 1 point of measly damage. The other, let's see, there are still 4 more on the back of the dragon looking down in, waiting for an opportunity to dive in. As you've killed, 2 of them up above there, and you've killed like 4 more down here, or 5 more maybe, that you've kind of keep on pushing down and standing on the corpses to keep fighting. And which one do you want to go next?
After you, sister.
Okay. Sister Ula cleaves, and fucking cleaves.
Cleave some more.
First attack is 17. Second attack is 14. Is 14 hit?
14 is exactly what you need to hit.
So first damage is
They're
6.
only...
So maybe that finishes off the other 6 one, perhaps. Second damage is 12.
Cool. Yeah, you drop them both. And Sadir, your turn.
All right. Gonna grab a different die. Which one? There we go. Oh. The 21.
21 is going to hit.
And a 9. I can only do 1 around, apparently. That's okay. It's 1 is better than
See if
none.
you kill him, though.
Yep. 8 points of damage.
Yep, that's exactly enough to kill him.
Oh, barely. That one almost got away from me.
Only one left here in the cavities. You push these new 3 corpses down and kind of crawl up a little higher. One more still here fighting in Sadir's face. And we roll initiative for the next round. There are 4 more still standing above you. Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, there's 2 in Sadir's face. Sorry, I forgot you killed one above. There's 3 more looking down upon you, and 2 right in front of Sadir. Apologies. Getting my logistics mixed up.
7 initiative.
And 6 for Ula.
Okay, you're first, Sadir. There are still
Aha!
3 up above.
3 up above. Okay. Oh, yeah. 22.
That's going to hit one of them.
13 for the second one. Nah, it just barely misses, doesn't it? Oh,
Yeah,
I can only do 1 for
give me
round.
damage to the other.
She screams with frustration. 10 points of damage.
You kill one of the ones above still. So there's no only 2 above and 2 in here. And it's your turn. Sadir or Ula, you can attack the 2 that are in here if you want.
Yep.
That are in front of Ula.
Oh, indeed. First attack
Your first,
is
yeah.
23. Second attack is 14.
Both hit. Give me some damage. Ula, Sadir, Ula. Yeah, okay.
First damage is 7. Second damage is 7 again. That's weird.
They're both still alive.
That is weird. Like,
Wow, okay. They're both still alive. So they will both attack Ula.
No, they're in front of me.
Oh, sorry, Sadir. Yeah, I missed both. The other 2 drop down onto Ula.
I thought I was going to save you. I'm sorry.
Oh, 2 hits. 1 for 1 damage and 1 for 3 damage. That's 4 total. That's halved already. You're muted.
yeah, Ula's on 2.
You're down? Or you're on 2?
On 2, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, sorry. I couldn't hear you correctly. Okay, then that's that around. So it's back to initiative. Okay. What you got?
Ula's on 7.
6.
Wow, Ula, you're first.
Yeah.
4 kobolds in here, 2 wounded, 2 not.
Oh, fucking hell.
They're all in here now.
Do I know if does a lance do more damage than a greatsword?
No.
I don't know that, or it
No,
doesn't say?
it doesn't. It's equal damage. You both have great weapons, essentially. So
All right. Yeah, so just attack the nearest 2 to me.
Okay.
Attacking and slashing.
they're all the same distance. You want to attack the wounded ones or the non-wounded ones?
Well, I suppose I wounded 2 last time, so I might as well finish them off.
Go for it.
So first one is a 27. Second one is a 26.
Give me damage.
Damage. They're probably auto kills, are they?
Oh yeah, 1 hit point each. They're both dead. Sorry, you're right. So there are only 2 remaining.
With that, yeah, Ula just sits down. She sits down on the corpse mound inside the dragon, absolutely exhausted.
Covered in dragon and kobold blood now.
Yeah. And her own.
And your own, indeed. And it is Sadir's turn. There are still 2 alive that are attacking Ula. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to stand over my sister and really aggressively attack them and hope to draw their ire.
What are you going to attack them with?
My lance, if I can.
Okay.
Is there a way to do that? Is because I know there's like cavern below us.
Describe it to me.
Okay.
Tell me how you do it.
So, with the blunt in, she'll ram it down as hard as she can, and then thrust back up to try to get enough back space on them.
Go for it.
Ooh, 60. Yeah, 22 on the first one.
Mhm.
And 19 on the second.
Give me some damage.
9 points on the first one.
Dead. The last one, you're upswing.
14.
Describe how you kill the last kobold.
So she jams down once and it sees she has just enough room to make an attack at the first one. And she lunges up and stabs that one. And when she comes back down, she swipes the dead one off of the lance by hitting it against its sibling, I guess.
Sure.
And
Or
jams
ribs or
back
something. Yeah.
up into the belly of the other one and just rips it open to spill down inside of its mother.
Nicely
And
done.
screams in victory.
You killed the last kobold. You killed a total of 20 wyverns, by the way. And you killed Vith Marfadellum, who was an adult dragon. I'll give you some stats on him maybe after the game. No, I'll give the stats now just so you know. He had 22 hit dice. His torso had 176 hit points, and his limbs, all 4 legs, both wings, and his head each had 40 hit points. You almost had that wing. You did 35 points damage that first round, man. Yeah. But you've killed them all. Go ahead and narrate to me the end of the story, if you will. You can both take turns or whatever you'd like to do.
I imagine in our initial exhaustion, I just kind of sit down next to Ula. For a moment there, I thought it was the end.
I don't think Ula can even speak, and she'll give her sister a hug. The two of them, like, probably sitting up to their bellies in blood on top of all these fucking kobolds and shit, and she just gives her a hug, and then I think just splashes back into the the bath.
Yeah. And once we've had enough strength, we'd head out and hope that my horse was still there.
Your horse did survive. It lost half of its hit points escaping the bog, but it survived.
So you trek out through the bog, keeping an eye out as best we can. I think we would try to go and see if there was anything on Cody that could speak of kin.
I was just about to say, loot Cody.
I was going to say tell his family he died, but, you know, it's kind of the same thing, really.
You could gather up his body, his bones, basically. There's not much flesh or tissue left, but you could gather up the bones. Some of them are splintered and broken to pieces, but you could gather up enough to get pretty much a full skeleton to bring back if you wish.
We shall inter him properly. He led us here.
If you want to check him for equipment, he had, his leather armor is ruined. He's got a standard sword, specialist tools. It's like the thieves' picks and stuff. He had a garrote. He had, a longbow. He had 2 quivers of arrows. One is like missing maybe 3 arrows or something, but he's got chalk, soap, which is half used up because he made you guys all fucking nose snifters. He had a few torches, backpack, a sack, tinderbox, a rope,
6 rations, some water skins, grappling hook, cooking pots,
a steel mirror,
and a longbow.
I'm glad you mentioned him because I thought for a minute there when you said, "Oh, I'll go check on my horse," I thought you were just gonna leave him behind. Not a word for poor old Cody.
Cody's crumbs.
Cody's crumbs. Well done, guys. You killed that dragon. Thank God you had that natural 20 ability. I don't know if you guys would have beaten this dragon
I doubt it.
that. I don't know for sure. You might have.
So no chance.
You might have. I was still rolling for his breath weapon every turn, but it wasn't coming up anyway. And I had determined, like, because he started off with 12, and I figured he could create maybe up to another 12 total. So he only could have created maybe 4 more wyverns before I would have just determined the breath weapon to be exhausted.
I was wondering that. Like, I was like, because he could just fill the whole world with wyverns, over time.
Yeah.
I determined for myself that 12 was the maximum he could have at any one time.
Yeah.
And that he could only create twice that in a single day. That's just kind of what I determined, just so it didn't get too ridiculous. Because otherwise, he could just fly above the earth, breathing wyverns all day long.
Yeah. Was there more to the hyena thing? I found that really interesting. When he spoke, I was like, "What?"
If you remember the bit of lore I read at the beginning of the game, the hyenas have the intelligence of man. So I decided, it doesn't say that in Marquise's blog per se, but I figured if they have the intelligence of man, why couldn't they speak?
Yeah.
So I decided they've also stolen the speech of man, so they can speak the human tongue.
Awesome.
So hyenas have gotten super intelligent. That's something that's developed over their exposure to all the dragon radiation.
Yeah.
And the hyenas hunt and kill dire wolves as well. Now, dire wolves are a lot bigger than the hyenas, but the hyenas will hunt in packs. And sometimes the dire wolves will travel in small packs, but the hyenas will bring bigger packs. And the dire wolves have a thirst for the blood of gods. And since the gods all live in the cities of men, they will occasionally try to assault the cities to get a taste of god blood. But I didn't want to delve into the gods today because I still only half understand them myself. I got to do some more reading on those.
Well, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, man.
I
Do
will
you know what it
put,
reminded me? If you've ever seen the anime, it might have been a manga as well, but Claymore.
I haven't, no, but I think I would probably like it.
Yeah, the dragon wives just remind me of the claymores, which are like these kind of, I guess, partly magical / mutated warriors that just defend the land, but they can turn. You know, they can the power can overwhelm them, and they can mutate into beasts and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Sounds fucking
Anyway.
badass. I was inspired by my long-lasting love of death and doom metal, and Lamentations as well, and also one of my kind of visual inspirations. Have you ever seen that animated short called Odin's Afterbirth?
I don't think so.
It's just ridiculously violent and gory, and I was thinking, yeah, this is gonna get bloody.
You've mentioned that in one of our previous games, and I think I went and watched it, and I thought, oh,
because I didn't fucked up.
I didn't know what you were talking about until you said the words Odin's Afterbirth, and then I thought, yes, I remember you saying those words in that order, and me reacting exactly as I did the same time.
So thanks for playing, guys. I hope you had fun. Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
That's awesome.
Very
good, Jeff.
Fight.
Yeah.
What was that, Jeff?
The broadcast. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. Say again.
I said that's what I get for bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay though. Cody had a lot of personality, and he was vital in getting them there. So.
Yeah, I don't know that we would have made it that far or had as many hit points as we did without him. So he served his purpose well.
Yeah, he was definitely not just a supporting character. He had a big role in the first half or 2/3 of the adventure. So
he distracted those nice wyverns for a while.
Somebody had to feed the wyverns, man. Somebody had to feed the wyverns. So.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have made it if they hadn't eaten you down to bones.
True. That's true.
They were too slow.
I just figured they had like animal intelligence, and so I was rolling like a 50% chance every round to see if they would realize, oh shit, there's actually 2 dragon wives over there. We should go fight them. No,
makes sense.
Kept missing the roll. Missing the roll. So.
Yeah. So you had 2 hit points, and I had 18 of 48.
I think I was 48 as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wild.
Great game. It was so much fun.
Great game.
Was, it really was.
Podcast. Thanks for making the setting, Marquise. And I'll be running some more games in the setting as I learn more about the lore and all that too. So cheers.